body covered in Coke Fizz, not body covered in goat piss, which is what I thought the lyric was when that song first came out. Little Money City Maniacs, courtesy Canadian rock legends. Are they legends? Do you remember the year and album of that song, Jay Milne?
Oh, man, that's got to be... What would it be?
It's got to be in the past.
Well, that's true. It's got to be in the mid to late 80s, because I remember that in high school.
Oh, no.
90s.
Yes, 1998. 1998. I was going to Nate, the album Navy Blues, courtesy of Sloan. I remember when Sloan, the first song I can remember of theirs that people talked about, I think it was called Underwhelmed. That probably was early 90s. And then they had that song, and I really actually don't know a lot of their songs.
Sloan was the band that would come around and do, like, universities.
Oh, okay.
I remember they played at the University of Alberta. What was the room above the Student Union building?
Oh, yeah. Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie or Woody?
Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie, I think.
I'm thinking Ryan Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie Lounge.
Named after the coach of the...
Yeah.
Before he was even
Dinwiddie
coaching.
Dinwiddie Lounge.
Yeah.
But what was the one at the other end?
I think... if I remember, now I wasn't big into music then. I mean, I wouldn't spend money on shows, I guess. But I think even when I was in university, I think the Tragically Hip would come to Dinwiddie's.
Sure.
I mean, they were big, but not huge, so they'd go play campuses, I believe. What are you saying? What was the other place?
There was at the other end of Sub, there was an auditorium. What was that called?
Yeah,
because Dinwiddie was on the second floor.
Yeah, it was more of a theater.
Kind of by the
Student
Union building.
It was like this. Was it just the sub
Meyer
theater?
Horowitz?
Oh, the Horowitz Theater. Yes.
Horowitz.
Yeah, the Horowitz Theater.
Dinwiddie Lounge.
Is it still there?
It's listed.
Let's call it.
Sure.
Let's send it a letter. All right. Anyway, that was Sloan. We're off and running. If you like Sloan, you like us, you like Edmonton Sports Talk, or you just like being here, give us a thumbs up on YouTube. Jump into the nasty chat as well.
Let's get after it.
The good old dialogue, the diabolical dialogue. Of course, you can email me, Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and you can text the EST inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. Canadian musician Alan Doyle and comedian Ben Bankus coming to the River Cree in January. For details on tickets, visit rivercreeresort.com. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I feel as if this is sort of the first day of the new year when it comes to most people's work schedules being back to normal. I realize there are some of you who are maybe saying, Reid, you nincompoop, I didn't get any time off over Christmas. Or I got Christmas off, but then I work all the weekends or whatever. It depends. But I feel like now no one is on Christmas holidays anymore or New Year's holidays or extended time off or booked time off or had their office shut down. I mean, is this not back to school for the kids and the teachers?
Oh, yeah.
My buddy's a teacher, at Holy Trinity, Zip.
He's
back today. I went to the dentist this morning, which we'll talk about as well. And my hygienist said this was her first day back to work. So I think this is it. Back to us. We're now out of the Christmas /holiday /festive season. So no more festiveness. No more celebrating.
Yeah, knock it off.
All serious all the time.
Knock it off. Do you think this is the most worked day of the year?
Most worked day of the year?
Yeah, like the day after the break's done.
So that nobody has time off.
What kind of a-hole would come to the boss and say, hey, I need another few days off?
Well, I guess, yeah. You make people sound really...
Well, I mean, like generally, you're done your holidays. Christmas is over.
Maybe people are going on cruises or something, going somewhere warmer this time of year. Maybe, I don't know.
The metal cruise isn't until the end of January.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who's going on that?
70,000 tons of metal. It's called.
But which listener is going on that again?
I forget the fella's name, but he said he was going to do a live check-in from the.
Yeah, he was going to let us know what's going on. But everybody's. I would think most people are back today. There's no more.
It's gotta be.
There's no more. The office is shut.
Right.
There's I would think if you have an office that shuts down or a boss who says, "Hey, everybody, we're going to be open over Christmas and New Year's, but not full hours. So put in your days between December 18th and January 5th." Like now, there's no more No more of that. Like, I think, Jay, you made a good point. If you are off today, you have booked holidays.
Yeah.
This is not part of something that might be where your office changes. Like, this office was closed the 24th to the 27th. It was back on for those weekend Oilers games, and then we were back on the 30th.
Yep. But I wonder if there is a stat that would back that up, because it's got to be a very, very worked day.
I never thought of it. That's an interesting way to look at it.
Yeah. You know what? When we were talking about the Dinwiddie, I put up Dinwiddie Lounge famous acts.
Oh, wow. This is incredible. Okay.
Sloan is listed on there.
Oh, nice.
Tegan and Sarah. Calexico.
Canadian. Never heard of them.
I don't know what Calexico is.
Calexico makes me think of a ColecoVision.
Yeah. Makes me think of something, those things you hold in front of your eye and you spin them and then it makes all the different...
Oh, what are those called? Not a kaleidoscope. I was going to say cornucopia.
Blue Rodeo.
Oh, that makes
sense.
Yes.
Mother. And get this, Radiohead.
Really?
Radiohead.
Played Dinwoody's.
Wow.
So maybe the Hip were never... I seem to remember the Hip being at the Dinwoody, at Dinwoody's when I was in university. And I didn't know who they were, and some people I knew were really excited to be going. Maybe my timing is off.
Maybe, because they would have listed them for certain.
Well, when did the Hip start being a thing? I was in university 91 to 95. The Hip, yeah, they were already going. You'd think that would have been right in their sort of campus alternative wheelhouse. Because in 1990, they got Most Promising Group of the Year. Well, 91 Canadian. Maybe I'm wrong.
On October 14th, 1989, the Tragically Hip played the Dinwiddie Lounge in support of their new album, Up to Here.
I was not in university yet. Maybe they were somewhere else in Edmonton, and I remember people going to it.
Maybe we should do a live show.
From Dinwoody's?
From the Dinwiddie.
Then we could be one of the acts that perform there. I'm sure we're big on campus. Hey, some kid in some stats class is streaming the show instead of listening to his prof.
And yes, Rip City Step. I think today is it. Today is the last day to officially say Happy New Year. Because now...
Oh, really?
I think so. It coincides with the most work day of the year. Everybody's back. Those that you didn't see over the holidays, you get it out of the way in the morning.
Well, you said it to Dustin today.
I certainly did.
I think Dustin and I said it to each other.
Yes.
Well, Dustin may have said it to me if you saw our Instagram video.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I returned it. I was a little focused on something else.
Always too focused on the dunk. But yeah, I think today's the last day.
I would say you could still say Happy New Year tomorrow to people. Not just colleagues, but if you're at a store buying something or, to a server at a restaurant or whatever, I think you could still say Happy New Year tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 7th.
Okay, then let me put it this way. The obligation to say it. The cultural obligation.
The cultural obligation.
Yes.
That'd be a good name for an album. Yeah. Cultural obligation.
Maybe that should be Kubusch's first rap album.
Cultural obligation.
Cultural obligation.
And it's like him standing on top of the high-level bridge with his arms folded, baggy pants, crotch down to his ankles. Yeah, hat on backwards or sideways, of course.
Double A says, I'd give the Happy New Year the rest of the work week.
Okay. Yeah,
that's fair.
Double A is very nice. Hawk says, do you think it could have been the Sidetrack Cafe where you... Well, again, it wasn't me that saw the Hip. Maybe that's where they were. Maybe that's where they were going.
My band played a gig at the Sidetrack.
What was the name of your band?
Well, it was called Brody. Real...
After...
Who knows?
Okay.
We wanted to be cool surfer punk rock singers.
Okay.
None of which happens in Edmonton or Sherwood Park. But we sure tried. Then we became North Shore. Even more surfer boy hipster. Yeah, it was great. The Sidetrack, what an event.
Yeah,
that was a great
no
place.
Longer there.
No, they had the coolest green room. Like there was some acts that came through the Sidetrack Cafe. Best sound going. No, not even close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
What instrument did you play in your band?
The vocals.
Oh, you were the singer.
Yeah, man.
I found out all this stuff about you that is very interesting.
I have one of our CDs at home.
We got to play it.
Okay.
Is it any good?
It's actually better than I remember.
Give me one song title.
Ooh.
That could have been the song
Fallout.
title. Ooh, Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh, like Fallout from a relationship?
I think so.
Come on, baby. I miss your Fallout.
The lyrics
Something
are,
like
why
that.
did you leave me so fast? You never gave me a half-decent chance. Your Fallout. stayed with me, consumed me absolutely.
You're ahead of your time because there was a Mission Impossible movie called Fallout.
Well, send me some royalties.
That was the inspiration.
I'll bring the CD in. I'll give it to Koob. It would be awesome because we can't get in trouble for playing my own music.
No, we will not get banned for that. You own that.
I do. It's just the recording quality of it is.
Are you still in touch with the guys with the band?
Yes.
The guys in the band, they're all still friends?
Well, one of them moved to Kelowna. He's a teacher out there. One's a firefighter out in Strathcona County, and the other one does. What was the demise of our band was that the drummer decided that he wanted to go to firefighting school out in Vermilion, so he left, and we were drummerless.
Me and some guys from school had a band. We tried real hard. Drummer became a firefighter. It's like different reasons for the band splitting up than in summer '69.
We had a big show. Our biggest show, we were supposed to open up for Sum 41.
No way.
Yeah.
So you were like a known entity.
Well, we played it was called Come On, I Wanna Lay Ya. It was a Grant McEwen
That sounds
opening
filthy.
week party.
Yeah.
But Sum 41, and they had shirts and everything. I have the shirt that said we played with Sum 41, but Sum 41 bailed, so we opened up for Treble Charger.
Well, sorry, what venue?
Grant McEwen.
Oh, the McEwen thing.
Yeah. Come On, I Wanna Lay Ya. It was a Hawaiian theme party.
I think I know what they're
Do you
saying.
get
there.
it?
Come on, I want to lay you. Yes, I get that, Jay. Thank you. I may miss obvious things sometimes. We may have been Henwade. I'm not going to be Laywade. So to speak.
that was a wicked gig.
I did not. Like you told me earlier that you did improv. What was the band called?
Brody.
Yeah, somebody's asking the name of the band. Duck Dad says I saw that show.
What show? My show?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Apparently.
No way, he says. I saw that show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was us and Treble Charger.
So you guys were huge then.
Yeah, Treble Charger were a bunch of dicks. Oh my gosh, they were the worst. They had a complex. We were just happy enough to have 2 cases of beer. And so it was at Grant McEwen. So our green room, or where our dressing room, call it whatever, was a classroom. So was Treble Chargers. And Treble Charger was smoking in there.
In the boys' room?
No, in the classroom. Bad boys.
They probably smoked in the boys' room too.
Probably.
Or
We were
snorted.
Yeah. Maybe we did something else in there. We were just happy to have a couple cases of beer. And
Yeah.
we thought that
Well,
was pretty
yeah,
cool.
if you're not going to be big time if you don't act big time.
And Treble Charger's bass
Were
player
they ever
showed
really
up.
big time?
Treble Charger?
Yeah.
You know the song, right?
No, I don't remember their
Now
stuff.
I know how far you
Oh,
go
that's them?
to
Okay.
be the next freak show American.
Oh, I didn't realize
Psycho.
that was them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But their bass player was just a piece of work. Oh my gosh. Bass players, they could be funny. They're the particular ones usually in the band. This guy took it over the top.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He showed up 10 minutes before. Like they had people looking for him.
Oh, geez. One of those guys.
I think he had some.
We can't do the show. We can't do the show. We can't do the show. Where is he? Where is he? Oh, I told you I was going to be here, guys. One of those guys.
Yeah, Duck Dad. That was me in the band before Treble Charger.
That's incredible. Well, that's.
I'll bring the CD
thrilled.
in.
Yeah, I want to hear some of your stuff.
Coop, there's people-
I'm just worried that I'm afraid it's really going to suck.
Matt, I played some of my music for you. No, I sent you a video clip. of it.
Matt's like, I don't remember actually. Oh, I'm sure it was good, Jay. I gotta go.
You thought I was good,
Oh,
right?
did I tell you I had to leave at 3:15? See you, Matt. See you, Jay.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's classic. Well, thanks for sharing that. That's really cool. Also, what is cool, we have a lot to discuss today. The Oilers are doing really well, and I think we need to go over some of the things and some of the numbers, some of the performances that we've seen from them recently. We'll dive into that when we get to the Oil Understood a little bit later on. They are 6-1-1 in their last 8, 18-5-2 since November 9th. The World Juniors went to 3-on-3 overtime. The National Football League playoffs are set. The 14 teams going to the postseason are set. The schedule is set for Wild Card Weekend. In a few minutes, Jay and I will recap our picks from.
I don't want to.
It was
but I
our
will.
third show ever.
I'm
It
really
was
embarrassed about
the third. There's one pick that you made that could be deemed embarrassing,
that. Okay.
or a pick you didn't make, perhaps.
Maybe.
But just for some fun and mild accountability, not that it really matters, I suppose. We'll look at our picks and talk about the playoffs coming up. This morning, I went to the dentist for my, what is it if it happens twice a year? Semi-annual? Because biannual would be every 2 years. So I guess my semi-annual cleaning, and I'll be back there Thursday morning just for some mild fillings that I need. So this is going to be our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading advertising solutions for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best can be is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website at williamhuff.com or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. We would like you to send us your dentist horror stories. That awful, unforgettable, scarring trip to the dentist. You know, Jay, I part of me can't help but feel bad for dentists and the dental hygienists. I mean, my dentist, he's been my dentist for a long time. Before that, his dad was my dentist. Now, I don't always see him, though, because I see the hygienist. She's been my hygienist for well over a decade. She's very nice. She's very thorough. She's been very helpful with my teeth, helping me with some cleaning habits, and stuff like that. But I just dread going because I think even the most gentle, sensitive workers at a dental office, you are going to be in pain during or after. And for me, it's not just the stuff getting done in my mouth. And today it was a cleaning, so you know what's going to happen. I got an X-ray, and the fillings I need on Thursday are extremely minor. It's not even for cavities. It's just some cold sensitivity I have. They're going to fix up. But for me, also at the dentist, it's that whole just lying on your back and your mouth open and water and fluoride and all the tools going in your mouth and the breathing and where's my tongue? My tongue is in the way. Oh, I got to swallow. I'm sure you got to wave your hand. I'm one of those guys. I got to wave my hand a couple of times throughout the process and just say, hey, I just need a breath here for a second. So it's just, for me anyway, and because these people are helping your teeth. Dental health is important, I think anyway. But who goes to the dentist and is like thrilled about it? Nobody. There might be, hey, you know what? I got to go just quick checkup at the doctor. I got to get a refill. You're probably not dreading it. But I find leading up, and as you know, I was supposed to go in December. And my hygienist was sick, and like an hour before I was supposed to be there, they postponed it.
That's right.
Right. That was supposed to be the first or second Monday in December, so it got pushed back to today. So we want your dentist horror stories. And again, we're not asking you to criticize your dentist necessarily or their work, but here's mine. And I probably didn't go to the dentist till I was maybe 8 or 9. I don't know when kids start going. Probably a little younger than that, I guess. Well, let's face it, my parents are a bit neglectful. No, I'm joking. My mom's like, oh, God, I can't believe he said that.
Your mom's listening.
Of course she is. I have a running joke with my mom, like if I'm over there for supper, I'm like, hey, Mom, thanks for allowing me to eat today. I really appreciate this. So my first trip to the dentist was probably 9 or 10. So probably 2 to 3 years after I probably should have gone. My mom, I guess, hey, we got to get you to the dentist. So the first time I went to the dentist, I got 2 teeth pulled.
Ooh.
And I remember sitting in the chair, they'd done cleaning and done the inspection and stuff. And I heard the dentist go out to talk to my mom, and I hear the word extraction. Oh. I knew what it was. I had 9 or 10. I knew what an extraction was. And I'm thinking, like, what are they going to do with my teeth? Where are they going to take them? What's wrong with them? Aren't they going to fall out eventually? So that was kind of mine. Like I remember sitting there and hearing that word extraction first time I went to the dentist.
Did they freeze you?
I think they just got a horse to kick me in the head.
Yeah,
that was Gus the horse.
Back in the 40s, eh?
Yeah, back in the 40s. Yeah, I believe I received local anesthetic or whatever it's called.
Yes.
That,
okay. So I don't have a horror story.
Yet.
I don't like dentists.
My mom says it was before I was 8 or 9.
Well, you would have known that word when you were 2.
I probably knew the word extraction.
Yeah, that's just who you are. I don't like going to the dentist. I don't know if anybody does.
Like who looks forward to it?
my issue is this.
The dental industry, listen up here, okay?
Don't talk to me. Don't try to have a conversation with me. My mouth is a gate. I cannot talk. I can't speak.
Yeah.
Don't. What are you doing? What are you trying to do small talk for?
Maybe it's for their own boredom.
Hey, Jay, what'd you think of the game?
Yeah, if they're asking you questions. Yeah.
What are we doing here?
My hygienist talks quite a bit. I know quite a bit about her life.
Well, you could talk about yourself, but don't ask things you want me to try and answer.
Yeah.
Do you not see what's going on?
What'd you do for Christmas? Did you hear what I said there?
No.
We had turkey and we opened presents and we went in the woods for a walk.
Yeah, great. And not to mention that it's just awkward. It's hard to talk. I don't want to talk.
Yeah, just get it over with.
Just get on with it. If you want to sing, dance, do whatever you want, but don't expect
Can you
anything
dance
from
for me, please?
Yes.
The extraction dance?
The commentary is Mike from Calgary. Best part of the dentist is the conversations they try to have with you. All of them and their tools in your mouth. Bones says, never book the dentist after lunch. Buddy must have killed a whole loaf of garlic bread.
I almost always go early in the morning. I get partly work related, both old job and this one. So now on Thursday, I'm going at 10:20, and it's supposed to be about 40, 45 minutes. So go in, get.
You're going to be all right.
Whatever
you need
done.
Me to come get you.
Well, see, to me, getting fillings is not as dreadful as the cleaning. Because you'll go in, they'll probably get a needle, they'll do the filling, and you go. And then they're probably like, don't eat on that side for the rest of the day or whatever. And a few years ago, I needed a root canal. And I've always heard all these negative things about root. Now, you are in the chair for a while with a root canal. But I had so much pain and discomfort from that tooth. It was such a relief to get it done. And I actually fell asleep during the root canal. So I was kind of like, oh, and then after it was done and you can talk again, I was like, did I fall asleep for a while? And the dentist was like, yeah, I even said to my assistant, well, this must be going smoothly.
Root canal, yeah. I had one of those.
I found it incredibly relieving because I was in so much pain.
But then they ended up just pulling the tooth.
Oh, that's sad.
It was painful, though. That was your pain local, or was it like your body was
when it got bad, like my whole head, I had a day where I got like dizzy and felt like I was getting sick.
Yeah.
Because I guess something, it hit the next level of whatever happened, and then I had the root canal a few days after that.
Well, it's an infection.
Right.
In your tooth, and it can spread to your body.
Right.
Brutal.
All right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. You can jump into the nasty chat on YouTube, the good old diabolical dialogue chat with us and with each other, and give us a thumbs up if you're there as well. We try to get to at least 100 every show. Tell you what, if everybody currently on YouTube just tapped the thumbs up, we would be well over 100.
Let's do it.
And we could stop asking you to do it, and Jay would be able to get his word of the day ready, etc., etc., etc. We will talk Oilers. We'll give you their alignment today in Boston. They visit the Bruins tomorrow. And how well did we do on our NFL picks? How did you do? We'll get to that after the Koob.
Four games fill out the NHL schedule, including the Canucks battling the Canadiens, while in New York, the Rangers have claimed Arthur Kaliev off waivers from the Kings. And down south, head coach Doug Peterson has been fired by the Jags. The Cincinnati Bengals have let go defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo, while the Seahawks have laid off Ryan Grubb as the team's offensive coordinator. Elsewhere, Christian Watson of the Packers tore his ACL last night and is out for playoffs. In 9 games, the NBA slate seeing Toronto playing Milwaukee and the Mavericks without Kyrie Irving 1 to 2 weeks as he sits out with a bulging disc in his back. This sports update is brought to you by Find Edmonton. Find takes your unused furniture and home goods to help those moving out of homelessness. Get your donations picked up or drop them off for free of charge. Find out how you can make an impact at findedmonton.com or call them at 780-988-1717. That's 780-988-1717. The Reid Wilkins Show returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
You know, this year, I want to give the gift of Christmas spirit.
Okay, well, what's the going price for Christmas spirit?
Actually, surprisingly affordable. $25 brings Christmas to life for a senior living at a Capital Care Center.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, yeah, and they have a community shuttle, so Christmas spirit continues all year long. They can go out and do things and just be reminded there's an entire village of people who care about them.
Become a part of our village at Capital Care Center. Donate at capitalcarefoundation.net.
All right, so I just double-checked here. Semi-annual, occurring twice a year. Biannual, also occurring twice a year. I didn't realize they were synonyms. And then biennial is happening every 2 years. I'm sure people were eager to know that. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. NHL lives at the Canadian Brewhouse every Oilers game day. There'll be one tomorrow. Get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light. You can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at the Canadian Brewhouse or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. The Oilers in Boston tomorrow, 5 o'clock game. So we'll have the Reid Wilkins Show from 3 to 4, GCL Diesel pregame show with Tom and Hernan from 4 to 5, and then we'll be back from 5 to 6.
The Power Hour.
The Power Hour. That's right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox for your text messages.
Will this be the first show that we have? No, the Oilers on the ESTV?
It'll be the first time the Oilers are on the ESTV. Yeah, for an Eastern time zone game, yes.
Right. Wow. We should christen it. We should celebrate.
Oh, sure. Yes, absolutely,
Cool.
Jay.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll bring something in.
We'll slam a bottle of champagne against the TV. Speaking of, did I tell my TV story now or later? I'll tell my TV story later.
Sure.
My parents needed a new TV on the weekend.
Surprised this one's
The
still
old,
here.
the old black and white from... I don't think I can tell the story. There was a TV that went missing at 6:30 Ched and then reappeared a few days later.
Seriously?
Oh, yes, and an employee who soon after this was found out was no longer a Ched employee gave it a little visit to a pawn shop.
No.
Yes.
So when you go to a pawn shop,
I didn't go to the pawn shop.
No, I know you didn't go to the pawn shop. When one does go to a pawn shop,
okay,
let's say, for instance, let's take my laptop, and I go to the pawn shop, and what do I like? So you You give that to them on credit, and they give you, say, like $500 cash.
I believe this,
and as long as you come
individual
back,
needed some cash for some debts.
and as long as you come back and pay it back, you get your item back.
I
Is
guess
that how that works?
Or you went back and bought the TV back, maybe at a loss. I don't know.
So immediately when you get money back,
I probably
from a
shouldn't
pawn
even be
shop,
talking about this, to be honest with you.
That's
Well,
okay.
It was years ago.
Like, say you bring this secondary.
Why don't we
ESTV
try
we
it?
have.
Why don't we try it?
Yeah, let's go to the pawn shop right now. Well, yeah, you get it for like $100. Immediately, you have to pay $120 just to get it out. So you immediately at a
Right, yeah,
loss.
you wouldn't get it. They'd have to make something off of it. Anyway, I think this will be the first Oilers game that we're going to have on the ESTV while we're hosting the show.
Cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Do you want me to get into? A lot of people are surprised that I was in a band, that I opened for Treble Charger.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. Why wouldn't they be surprised?
I don't know. Don't I strike you as a band guy?
Well, not at this point in your life. Plus, you've never talked about this. You've only talked about playing Golden Bears football and Wildcats football and having owned and managed a furniture store.
Owned, managed, ran.
Yeah, this is another thing that rounds you out as an individual.
It's another layer of the onion. That is J.
The
Milne.
big onion J.
Now, explain this one to me, because Bones said, now all I can see is Jay in Michael Cera's place as Scott Pilgrim.
That's good.
That's
Scott
a
Pilgrim
movie.
versus the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would explain why I don't
It's a
get the
movie. It's a good
reference.
movie.
Okay, maybe I should watch it.
It's got young Brie Larson in it. Is Brandon Routh not in it? One of the guys that went on to play Superman in one of the movies? Coop? No?
I don't know that much.
Chris
but
Evans.
Oh, yeah,
in it.
Evans is in it too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Good cast.
Maybe I'll have to watch it now. Jason Schwartzman, who could forget?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think
Maybe Uncle Jesse is a good idea. Maybe I will bring a shrimp ring tomorrow to christen the TV.
we're going to throw shrimp at the TV.
We can just throw the tails.
Can I chant?
Yes.
While we're doing it? And I throw the shrimp at you, and you are our television.
Wow, I'm getting blown away here with the compliments I'm receiving.
Well, you should receive compliments.
Thank you, everybody.
It takes a lot of courage to be in a band. Get up there and sing.
Sure. I loved it.
Did you have any vocal training?
No, I grew up in church, so I was singing all the time, choir and all that.
Translates perfectly well.
If you-
Completely
if you-
linear transition to singing in a punk rock band.
Yes, Christian punk rock.
Was it Christian punk rock?
It wasn't technically, but we would never have used bad words.
Right.
I mean, we were too young. But we used to do
Well, how
shows.
old were you?
This would have been like grade 10, 11.
And you opened for Treble Charger.
Well,
when
that
you-
was out. Like we were together
Oh.
for about 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
We did a lot of shows. We had fun. We played so many venues around Edmonton. It was great.
That's
Sidetrack Cafe was one of the cool ones, because that's just it's almost like you're on, I don't know.
It's like a form of
sacred
making
ground.
it in Edmonton.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
for
Well,
sure.
I've played here, here, and here. Did you ever play the sidetrack? No.
Right.
It'd be like, well, you kind of suck then.
Yeah, there
maybe
was
not.
there was a
You know
lot
what I
of
mean.
good venues.
780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. Did you want to do our NFL playoff stuff here? Yeah, we probably should. Quickly? You don't want to.
Well, it's embarrassing. I'm
Well, it's not
embarrassed.
embarrassing. Okay. We barely did average.
I think Dustin wanted to fire me earlier when I told him.
All
about
right,
this.
I'll do my AFC picks. I actually, in the AFC, I picked Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, and Houston to win their divisions and be the top 4 seeds. I actually got the seeding in order. My wild card teams were the Jets, Cincinnati, and Miami. None of them made the playoffs, and the Jets, in fact, went 5-12. So I got 4 out of 7 playoff teams in the AFC, though the ones I did pick were in the exact position I picked them.
Yeah. We went back and listened to this show.
Well, I saved mine on even a sheet of paper.
Yeah. What? This was what? Our second show?
This is our third show, the Thursday of the first week
third show.
where there was Labor Day. We have started on the Tuesday.
For some reason, I must have forgot that day that we made our picks. I must have forgot that the Buffalo Bills played football. because I left them off my list for the AFC. I had the Bengals, Ravens, Jets, Dolphins, Jacksonville, Houston, and KC. So I had 3 out of 7. That's terrible. That's terrible.
Well,
and I didn't even have Buffalo.
Why didn't you not have Buffalo? Do you remember? You said something that they didn't have good receivers.
Yeah. They still don't have great receivers, but look at them go. It's a run game, actually, that's been pretty good. James Cook has been cooking. I think I was nervous because it was just the early days of the show, and I was nervous to be around you, Reid.
Oh, sure.
I had to have been because that's just a brain fart. My NFC picks were equally struggling. But if you think of this from the start of the year, I had Detroit and Green Bay. Okay?
As winning the divisions.
One winning, one wild card.
Oh, sorry. So did I. I had Detroit and Green Bay both in.
Then I had Dallas winning the NFC East. Philly is a wild card.
I had Philly winning the division.
I had Tampa Bay and Atlanta getting in.
I had Atlanta winning the division. Nobody else, so I was wrong there.
And then San Francisco. Who could have seen that?
I had winning the division. I had the other 2 wild card teams I had besides Green Bay were the Rams, who are in the playoffs, though not as a wild card, and I did have Seattle in, and I said on the show, bit of a soft spot pick for me, and they missed the playoffs on a 5th tiebreaker.
But Gino got paid yesterday.
So total, I picked, regardless of where I had them, I have 8 of the 14 playoff teams, which isn't that good.
7 of the 14. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's hard.
But
Rip City Steph just writing in Jags? Question mark, which is, I believe, kind of what I said to you.
Well, look at they came off they made the playoffs the year prior. Last year.
Did they?
Yeah. Didn't they? And then, by
I think
all
it was
accounts,
the year before that.
Trevor Lawrence was on the rise.
The Jacksonville Jaguars last made the playoffs 2 years ago. They went 9-8 and missed last year. The previous year they were 9-8 and actually won a playoff game and then lost to the Chiefs.
So, yeah, I'm embarrassed. It takes a lot for me to be embarrassed.
That was bold not to pick Buffalo to go to the postseason.
I must have forgot.
Well, hey, but everybody thought San Francisco was going to be in. I mean, everybody who makes picks. They didn't get in. So maybe that's what you were thinking with Buffalo.
Maybe. But I will say this. You and I both, and this was closed door. We did not know that who we were picking. But
correct.
We both had Kansas City meeting the Lions in the Super Bowl. You have Kansas City winning.
Yes.
I have Detroit winning. And that still looks pretty darn good.
Yeah. I think big win for Detroit last night.
Well,
I mean, it turned they really pulled away. I know I've kind of been touting the Rams for the last few weeks. So that's going to be the Monday night game next week, 1 week from today. I think Minnesota loses in Los Angeles to the Rams in a week.
You know what's funny?
We'll do all our picks on Friday, but there's a little preview for you.
I'm just writing down in our buying or selling. I was going to ask you that. I was going to say,
the Minnesota Vikings we can talk more about it then. Well, we can talk more about it then.
Sure. I'll still ask you that question.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gives you about 40 minutes to stew on it.
Caster 1990, Jay, did your band have groupies? Is that how you met your wife? Then big smiley face. That would be an incredible story. Is that how you met your wife? Was she a groupie?
That's not how I met her. When I met her, I was still in the band. So she would come to all our gigs. It was great. I loved it. But she did not. We did a huge show at the Iron Horse. It was a U of A fundraiser.
Was that the one that's now that MKT or whatever? Okay.
That was a banger.
That'd be fun. Wow, good for you guys.
Yeah, we did.
Were there any other football players on your team or in the band?
No. We did a small show at what was called Woolly Bullies. Now it's a Mexican place, just south of Y towards the farmers market.
Oh, El Cortez.
El Cortez,
right?
Used to be a bar called Woolly Bullies. We did a show there, and that was our hangout, the football team. So it was all football guys. So I had a massive old lineman come on stage with me and sing a song.
That's great.
It's fun. He took his shirt off. It was great. But no groupies. No.
All right. So Jay was in a band. You could ask questions about that. Our off-topic topic is we want your horror story about a visit to the dentist.
I've got some I've been keeping
that
too.
went extremely poorly. We will dive into the oil understood when we get back. We have Zachary Kubusch updating your sports.
The Capitals and Sabres kick off the night on a 4-game NHL slate with Vancouver's captain Quinn Hughes as a game-time decision for the Canucks-Canadiens game. And in the NFL, the Seahawks have let go offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, while Doug Peterson has been relieved of his head coaching duties with the Jags. Basketball has 9 games, having the Raptors battling the Bucks, while Kyrie Irving of the Mavericks is out 1 to 2 weeks due to a bulging disc in his back, with Dallas in action tonight against the Grizzlies. This sports update is brought to you by Sit and Sleep. Sit and Sleep has its Boxing Week sales ongoing, where you can save big on all the major sleeping brands. Get a queen-size Eurotop mattress with patented non-flip pocket coils, gel memory foam, and 5 comfort zones for half price at just $3.99. Shop great deals like this and more at Sit and Sleep, but only while supplies last. Don't miss out. Get shopping at Sit and Sleep. Find them in South Common next to Planet Fitness. We have a quick timeout before the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
The grand opening sale at Sit and Sleep is almost over. This is your last chance to take advantage of the special introductory sale prices on all mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, get free local delivery on any mattress over $7.99 and receive a free bamboo cooling mattress protector. Enjoy grand opening savings with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the final celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness. Don't miss out. The grand opening sale ends soon.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
All right, pleasure to have you tuning in this afternoon. Oilers, Boston tomorrow, 5 o'clock game. Then Oilers in Pittsburgh on Thursday, in Chicago on Saturday. The Oilers 6-1-1 in their last eight games. Really good since November. Well, best in the league since November 9th. We're going to dive into that as we move throughout the show. And quickly, though, an off-topic topic, courtesy William Huff, a horror story about a trip to the dentist. Do we have some coming in, Jay?
Yeah, this one comes in from Shovey. And Zach, by the way, that was a banger song. Keep that one in the rotation. Happy New Year, boys. My dentist story is from the late 70s. I went in with an infected tooth. He grabbed hold of it and asked if that hurt. I said yes, and he pulled it out with no freezing.
What? Just grabbed it and pulled it out.
I think I pulled the arms off my chair. That comes in from Chubby. This one comes in from Blaine.
That's so... Wow. Maybe
70s,
the dentist thought, oh, it's so loose, he won't even feel it.
Oh, can you imagine?
I don't know why the dentist would think that.
When I was younger, like any kid, hated the fluoride. Decided eating a big bowl of ginger beef before the dentist was a good idea.
No!
It was not.
No! Oh, my God. That is tragic. Yeah, when I go to the dentist in the morning like this, I have very little to eat. I just had a little bit of cereal, and I didn't drink much. Like, usually I'll try to have a glass of water in the morning or have coffee, because then it adds to the discomfort if you got to pee while you're in the chair getting the work done.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, I'm incredibly uncomfortable in my head. Oh, now my bladder's full. And I'd like to get up and go pee, and you can't. So
Awful.
This person ate ginger beef before going to the dentist.
Beef. And I love me some ginger beef.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I keep it as... I want that dentist inside my mouth as little as possible.
Yes.
Get in, get out. Ugh.
Good afternoon, X-Ray J, who always posts a very kind greeting whenever he jumps into the nasty chat. We, of course, are in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out, jameshbrown.com today, and book your private consultation. Well, I'll let everybody know how my fillings go on Thursday, I guess. I think these will be pretty routine. I come back, I'm just all puffy, like blood all over my face. How was the dentist, Reid? I'll have like a wrap around my head, like in the comics. Like, you know, they got the toothache and something. They got the bow tied to the head and the
ice bag.
The ice bag around my whole face. All right.
Just hang on, Reid, before you get in there. I saw this in the nasty chat, so I decided to look into it a bit further. But who was it here? Easy E said, McDavid will probably never admit that he plans on resigning this summer, but I definitely think there will be signs, to which a few people agreed. So I looked into it. Well, Lauren Kyle, his wife, posted a picture saying that a new business venture well in the works.
Yeah, the old Japanese village building. That's what it looks like.
So she's starting a business here, Reid.
I don't think McDavid is leaving. He can re-sign after July 1st. He can re-sign, right?
How do you know this was the old Japanese village building?
Because I saw her Instagram. I follow her on Instagram.
Oh, well.
Can't you see where it is?
I can't click on the picture.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it looked like to me. So the one, what is that, 100th Street? Kitty corner to the library, kind of. Just up from Rice Howard Way, underground, Tap and Grills on the corner. That old building there.
Okay. I don't get out much, so.
Well, like I get out much. I just know where that building is.
You live downtown. I despise it.
I live downtown-ish, yes.
I don't despise it. I'm not a big fan of big, busy, bustling places.
All right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. Appreciate that they have jumped aboard. Here's how the Oilers deployed themselves at practice today. You had McDavid between Nugent-Hopkins and Brown, Draisaitl with Podkolzin and Arvidsson, Henrique, Jeff Skinner, and Hyman, and Janmark centering Perry and Kapanen, Derek Ryan, of course, the other forward. D pairings, as you would expect, as we give you the oil understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, from turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. Kub, did you get the clips? We'll do them in order. Knob block 1, 2, and 3. Let's start, before we discuss some of the team stuff. Well, we may do that for Crunch the Numbers, too, for Gallo LLP. So Jeff Skinner got an assist on Friday. Really nice goal, I thought, against the Seattle Kraken on Saturday. Good finish from in type to roof that puck. Here's what head coach Chris Knobloch had to say about Jeff Skinner.
Scored a really good goal the other night. Set up another one, Darnell's, the night before. Starting to build some confidence through his game. I think that's the biggest thing. I think his work ethic has been what it needs to be. I think he's been working hard on the defensive details of our game. But the most important thing to any player, whether you're a goalie, defenseman, or forward, and especially a goal scorer, is confidence. And you're starting to see him enjoying the game, smiling, having fun, and feeling better with the puck.
All right, so Jay, I won't necessarily ask you a question directly, but I want you to react to something. So you heard what Knobloch just said there about Jeff Skinner. So he sits him out, as you called it, a public shaming. What was it, last Sunday in Anaheim? He comes back and plays the last 3 games. I asked him after the New Year's Eve game how he thought Jeff Skinner played. He praised him. He gets on the score sheet the last couple of games. And he spoke there about, especially for offensive players, you want to feel good. You want to be confident. You want to have a smile on your face. When Knobloch took over, so about 14 months ago now, and he was asked, what do you see from this team that needs to change? He goes, well, I think these guys need to feel more confident. They basically need to loosen up. You need a little more joy on the bench and smiles and stuff like that. That's not an X and O thing for a coach to say, right? It's more of a team vibe sort of thing to say.
100%.
I will ask you a question. What do you think of Knobloch referencing that more than one? Because he also said it a few times last year. He's talked about a player having confidence and just sort of enjoying playing. And from your experience, and again, as I always remind people, you played a pretty high level of football. I mean, you played for the Golden Bears. How do you see the role of a coach in a player's confidence or how a player feels? Because I do think some people would say they're adults. They should do what they need to do to feel good and be able to play the same way regardless. So I'll leave it to you there.
You would hope, you would think, but it's simply not true. How many adults do you know that, sometimes they need an extra, hey, good job. I appreciated what you did there. Oh, thanks. That really means a lot. And it means a lot to them. That's the same as professional athletes. They're human. They have feelings. Of course, different players are going to need different things from the coach. And if it's words of affirmation, positive words of affirmation for Jeff Skinner, then lay it on him, baby, because it seems to have awoken something. But the looseness, the happiness, the smile, that is a loose, confident player. But, I mean, would you not say that the coach will react differently to different players? 100%.
Sure.
Because if you're the type of person, some people need a lot of it. Some people don't even want you to talk to them.
Yeah.
Just let me do my job.
Right.
I'm good. And some people don't need that as much as others. So, at any rank, even in the workplace, right? Everybody has a different way that they like to be stroked. And it has to happen by the boss or by management. You need to protect that and do what's best to get the most out of your employees, or in this case, your hockey stars.
Well, and I think this is one thing, and I know whenever we get into this topic, we always have people say, oh, well, the players are coddled. Coaches don't yell at them anymore. The players have too much power. But that's not where I'm going with this. I think that if you're going to be a good coach, you do have to recognize that you can't treat everybody the same way. Now, you can have expectations about, everybody works this hard and everybody's dedicated in practice and everybody does the drills properly. I'm not suggesting that. But if you're trying to get the most out of an individual, I do think you make a good point, Jay. What Leon Draisaitl might need for a kick in the butt might not be what Jeff Skinner needs. And I think it's the coach's job to figure that out. And as we were talking about last week with Skinner, so he got publicly, I love that that's your term for benching. He got publicly shamed. And we always get the people, well, how can they trade him? Well, force him to trade is no move. Send to them, that's not Knobloch's concern. Knobloch's concern is this guy is on my roster. He's an available player. And when he plays, he can do more than he's been doing. So it's Knobloch's job to figure that out, unlock it, whatever you want to do it. I'm sure Chris Knobloch didn't take any joy in scratching him from a game. And I think that I would say let's look deeper than just calling that a punishment or calling that I've given up on this player. It's a tactic for a coach to say, look, you got to do more. And it might, and I don't think, I don't know exactly what was said to Jeff Skinner, but I don't think every player that's scratched is then also pulled aside and berated. Look how terrible you are. Do you understand why you're not playing? I'm never going to play you again unless I think it's an opportunity to say, okay, I just need you to watch. I just need you to watch the habits of some of these guys. I need you to remind yourself that you can do what all those guys are doing. And if you do those things, the offense is going to come. If you're on the right side of the puck, if you're reading off your teammates, if you're making yourself available to passes, if you're forechecking, the offense is going to... Look what happened the last game. He's on the right side of the puck. His line mates turn the puck over. Zoom, he goes. He's in behind the defense, and he scores. All starting with being part of a team that turned the puck over, a part of a line that turned the puck over in the neutral zone.
Do you think we're not giving Knobloch enough credit? It seems like he makes a lot of these moves, which at the time can be not puzzling, but you're just wondering what the rationale is. But I think I said this to you last week when you were kind of ticked off at yourself that you didn't see the Connor Brown change happening because he laid out the groundwork for that.
Yes, he did.
He seems to be 5 to 7 steps ahead of most.
Well, which I would hope he would be, since he's actually coaching the team.
Well, sure, but it seems like he's good at it, because when you're good at it, people like you and I take notice of it after it's already been put in place.
Right, and
like
there have been other instances of Knobloch sitting a player out and then coming back. I've mentioned McLeod and Perry in last year's playoffs. Fogel, Cody Ceci, who a lot of people missed this year, was sat down for a game in the Stanley Cup final. So, look, he's the head coach of an NHL team in Canada, so his moves are going to be picked apart. I'm not suggesting he's perfect, but he seems to have a certain understanding here of what players need.
Sure.
And I'm not saying he's ignoring X's and O's or systems or set plays off, face-offs or things like that, but I also think he understands, as a guy who, when he played, was an offensive player himself, that you just got to feel good. You just have to want to go get that puck and do something with it. I mean, short sample size, it seems to be working with Jeff Skinner. It's not like Skinner has come back from being scratched and moped or given up on himself or his role on the team or anything like that.
Well, and it's amazing. So if that is the person that Skinner is maybe needs some positive reinforcement or an attaboy, well, then wait, hopefully with that game that he had in the goal, and then he's had points in multiple games, or 2 in a row, sorry. But maybe that gets him going. Maybe that's what is needed for Jeff Skinner.
Well, if that's another guy who's a threat to score,
yeah,
and Connor Brown's coming on, and you've already had the other 4 or 5 guys who traditionally score, that makes the Oilers a pretty dangerous team, which they have been, quite frankly, for the last 2 months, which we're going to dive into when we get back. This has been the Oil Understood, presented by GCL Diesel. Top of the hour. We got a quick break and then the Coupe.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, it's just an ordinary day, and it's all your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
In life, it takes a village. From childhood to your golden years, we all need support. At Capital Care Foundation, we've built that village for our 2,100 seniors. Join us in creating a nurturing environment that feels like home and fosters community connections. Your donation makes a difference. Visit capitalcarefoundation.net today and become a vital part of our village. Because together, we can make every stage of life a shared journey. Be a part of the journey. Support Capital Care Foundation.
On a 4-game NHL slate, Vancouver captain Quinn Hughes is a game-time decision against the Canadiens, while the Rangers have claimed Arthur Kaliev off waivers from the Kings. In the NFL, head coach Doug Peterson has been fired by the Jaguars, while the Seahawks have parted ways with offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb. And basketball has the Raps and Bucks throwing it down, seeing 9 games in the association. Elsewhere, Kyrie Irving is out 1 to 2 weeks, suffering a bulge disc in his back, with the Mavs in action tonight against the Grizzlies. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues right now. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
All right, Koob, great work. Good to see you, buddy. Zachary Kubusch, our technical producer and sports update deliverer. Is that your official title? That's what I call you.
I like that title. My official title, Associate Junior Producer.
Oh, okay. Oh. Wow. I've promoted him without even knowing.
I wonder when the junior goes away.
That's a good question.
Like, I mean that. Like,
no, that's seriously a good question.
There's probably like a timeline.
Because who would be a senior in that role?
Yeah.
Your probation?
No, I'm just kidding.
Who would be a senior in that? Matthew?
It would be...
No, Matthew's the chief operating officer.
He's a coup, but would he be...
Is he still here?
No, I just went and looked.
He's fled the building.
He's gone.
He was uncomfortable hearing about your band.
So you're junior what, Koob?
Associate Junior Producer.
So I wonder if he's a senior executive
producer. Who are you
producer.
associated with?
Trevor.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you two associates. The Koob and the two.
So does he have the same title as you? Do you know?
Yeah, without the junior.
So
well, that's why he's the other one. And then there wouldn't be a senior one.
Well, it would be Uanook.
No, but he's the chief operating officer.
You can have more than one title.
Oh, good point.
COO and chief executive producer.
And host.
That's a good point.
And host. I mean, what doesn't that guy do?
We'd also just make up titles for each other.
Sure. What would your title be?
My title would be afternoon talk show host and chief comic book officer.
Yes.
The CCO.
CBO.
So we have the CEO. Oh, yeah, CCBO. We have a CEO, a COO, and a CCBO.
I like it.
If you would like to text us, you can do so at 780-218-9999. That is the afternoon inbox presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. You can ask Jay about his band. We learned a lot about Jay's punk. Was it a punk band? Hard rock punk band? Hard punk, hard rock?
Yeah, punk rock.
Punk rock band. And we can also have your contributions, and I think Jay's compiling a few more of our off-topic topic for William Huff, a horror story about a visit to the dentist. I was at the dentist today. It was not horrible, but I told mine from when I was young.
I got
two teeth pulled.
a really good story in about the sidetrack.
Oh, should we do it now?
Sure.
Let's do it now.
Do you know, well, okay, maybe you will know. I'm sure you will, but this comes in from Douchezard. Docazard?
Wow, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, though.
Here's a good story.
We're probably being trolled with the name.
Probably.
We probably just said something extremely filthy.
Probably just got hand-weighed. Here's a good story about the Sidetrack Cafe. Years ago, I was sitting at the bar having a beer, and this gentleman came in and sat down beside me. He was a very tall fellow wearing a fedora, so we started talking mostly about music, and he introduced himself as John. After about 10 minutes, the announcer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat tonight." So John got up and said, "Sorry, I have to go. Tell the barkeeper to get whatever you like and put it on my tab." The next thing the announcer says, "Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Long John Baldry."
Oh, no way.
I almost fell off my chair. That was quite the surprise.
That was a great story.
I did not know who Long John Baldry was.
I've heard the name,
is.
but I wouldn't know any details.
You know that song, "You've Lost That Love and Feeling"?
Yes.
That's him.
That's his original version?
Yes. I looked it up. Hang on.
Who are the guys that did that?
And in Australia, where his duet with Kathy McDonald, "You've Lost That Love and Feeling."
Oh, nice.
Reached number 2 in 1980.
What was the name of the guys that did that for Ghost? Was it in Ghost?
What was in Happy Gilmore?
Okay. What was the song in Ghost that she was making the clay thing to? It's a very erotic scene. Was that Demi Moore?
Song in Ghost. Unchained Melody.
Unchained Melody. Sorry, not
the
You've
Righteous
Lost-
Brothers
That's
cover.
the one. Okay, but did the Righteous Brothers also do "You've Lost That Love and Feeling"? I think that they did. Also, send us your stories about making pottery with a ghost. Okay, Reid.
Yeah.
So I'm in the garage.
It was really wet. "You've Lost That Love and Feeling" by the Righteous Brothers. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
It was first. I don't know. They say it was first recorded by the Righteous Brothers, but then Long John Baldry's Wikipedia says, maybe he did a cover.
He did a cover. He did a cover.
He died in 2005 in Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
Huh.
Was he Canadian?
No.
But he was performing at the sidetrack.
English.
Okay. Spency 5 Cynthia says that was Top Gun. I believe it was "Take My Breath Away" by Berlin in Top Gun.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We've went on a few different pathways there. Let's bring it back.
Focus.
Let's focus. Do we have any dentist stories right now? Or is it later?
Later. I'll keep compiling.
We'll do dental stuff later. We'll do your dental work later.
Lots of talk about the Oilers, but we
which is good because we want to get to. Oh my goodness, we're going to crunch the numbers for Gallo LLP, chartered professional accountants, where they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John at Gallo LLP if you would like to discuss further how they can crunch your numbers and help your business grow. Visit their website, gallollp.ca, and see how Gallo LLP can help your business grow. We crunch the numbers every Monday. Yes, Jasmine, she won Best Female Actor for The Substance. I still want to see that. I didn't watch any Golden Globes, but I was looking quickly at the winners list today. So, boy, there's so much going on this show. So many people talking about so many things in the Nasty Chat. I better get off that page for a while. If you are there, give us a thumbs up. If everybody just did it now that hasn't given us a thumbs up, we'd be well over 100. So when you can, and encourage a couple of friends to do it as well. Okay, so let's crunch the numbers. First of all, I will start here, Jay. And I referenced these earlier, but the very raw stats here for your Edmonton Oilers, the wins and the losses, very important, as we all know. In their last 8 games, the Oilers are 6-1-1. Since November 9th, the Edmonton Oilers have played 25 games. They have won 18 of them. They have gone 18-5-2 since the 9th of January. Remember, that was that win over the Vancouver Canucks on a Saturday night. In that time frame, the Oilers have the most points in the National Hockey League with 38. And I realize people may say to me, well, yeah, Reid, maybe they've played more games than some other teams. Okay, let's do points percentage. Since November 9th, the Oilers lead the league with a 760 points percentage. Vegas is next at 740. Washington and Colorado are at 712. Those are the only teams above 700. By the way, the Kings are 696. So 3 of the 5 best teams in the league since November 9th are all in the Oilers division. But I think we need to recognize this because there was a lot of concern earlier in the season. I mean, we had it too. a 760 points percentage. Like, that is outstanding to get over 3/4 of your points. So let's specifically address something. Do you want to start with my stuff, Jay, or with yours? I'll ask you a couple things. What were some of the concerns we had in the first few weeks of the season? They can't kill a penalty.
Penalty kill, goal scoring. Now, in that time frame, I took the same time frame as you, since November 9th, as you alluded to, hottest team in the NHL, 38 points. They have the highest penalty kill, number one penalty kill in that timeline as well. And they've got the most goals for in the NHL in that timeline.
Would you have the PK number?
You know what, Reid? I don't, but I can easily find it.
I got it. It's 88.9%.
That's outstanding.
I mean, think about that. Like, as horrible as they were, around 60% to start the season, they're just under 90%. And I dare say 25 games is not a small sample size. That's about a third of a full season.
No, it's not at all.
Now, look, I understand people might say, oh, but they, all the things that happened before then count in the standings. And yes, maybe that poor start might keep them out of first in the division by the end of the year. And I mentioned how good LA is doing. But they are just below 90% killing penalties for almost 2 months. I think we got to point out how good that is. And you mentioned the goals for per game, 3.80. So yes, total goals for their first, goals for per game. They're just barely behind Tampa Bay since November 9th.
Penalty kill is fifth in the league in that timeline. Power play is fifth in the league, 28.6%.
So there was another thing. The power plays never, and that was probably the one thing I was the strongest on, was that the power play would pick it up. 28.6%.
Nailed it. Goals for per game played, they're second in the league. Goals against per game played, they're fifth in the league.
See, and there's the big one, right? Yeah. That's the one where, well, what can they keep it out of their own net? They have been.
Absolutely. Say what you want about Skinner, say what you want about Pickard. They're doing their job. And you said something earlier that caught my attention, is you said that they're winning these sloppy games or these tight games. And yeah, heck yeah, they are. That should be a badge of honor. Those are the games that you need to learn how to win and come out on top.
Yeah, it's always interesting, and I know the boys were talking about it after Friday's game over Anaheim. Well, they won ugly. Seattle. Well, they were up 3-0 and it got close. I get it. Sometimes you would just like a quieter win, so to speak. You would just like to nurse it to the finish line, choke out the other team, so to speak. Don't give them anything. And to be fair, that was a little frustrating how the Oilers let Anaheim back into the game. Brown gives Bouchard a tough pass at the blue line. Was that game? Yeah, that was that game. Goes the other way.
Kicking themselves.
Kapanen, dumb play. I mean, as good as he's been, dumb play in Seattle, goes the other way, gives Seattle a little bit of life. So sure, you'd like to not give those up, but they still found ways to win. Ultimately against Anaheim, Leon, who self-proclaimed had a bad game, huge goal. And then Seattle, Seattle made it close, but give the Oilers credit for the 3-0 lead to begin with.
Yeah.
So I get it. I mean, maybe you'd like to be up 3-0 and comfortably win 5-1 or maybe 4-2, but it was never 3-2. I get it, but they are winning. They're still doing enough to win. And I do think winning ugly or winning when you don't have your A game the entire night is a sign of a good team.
It is. And here's the thing, Reid, is we've seen that happen where they've been in those games where they're up 2-0, 3-0, and then the team come back and it goes to overtime.
Yes. Yeah.
So
or they lost.
They've lost some of those games. To be able to hold that off, I think is a big feat for this team. Because Oilers fans are used to seeing that fall apart.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, you're right. It doesn't, and at the end of the day, a W is a W. It doesn't matter how, there's no extra points for shutouts or beautiful games or more than 4 goals ahead. A win is a win is a win. You have to learn how to win these kind of games because guess what? The playoffs, that's usually the scoring margin is a lot tighter. in a win, for a win versus a loss. So getting these tight victories now, I think that's good experience. Reid, I've got a question for you though.
Sure.
And whenever I have a question that I don't know, I've been taught just to ask it because there may be somebody out there, Reid, listening that might have the same question as me. But it's been said a lot that this team is soft. They're not physical.
Okay.
Well, that seems to be true. They are dead last in the NHL in hits.
Koob, can you get Knobloch number 3 queued up? Because he was asked earlier today about the Oilers' low hit total, according to the official hits that are tracked by the NHL.
Physicality is very important to the game. I think you need some of it. But if you look at the team that usually has the most hits in a game is usually the losing team. So you got to be careful. Same with block shots. Blocking shots is important, but if you're the team that's blocking more shots, you don't have the puck, you're defending, and that shows up a lot. So, I think our team can be more physical. I think we need to have a little more of that element, but you also have to be careful on how much of that you get. And I think to have success in the regular season, and especially playoffs, you need that physicality. But you also have to have a certain style of players to play that game.
Okay. Do you want to do the number, or do you want me to do it? You can do it. You got it, right?
Well, they're dead last with 467 hits. Who's second last? Dallas.
With
512. That's not a small number.
What totals did you get? I got different ones. Did you do just 5 on 5 by 5v5?
Possibly.
Okay.
I've been known to do that, Reid. What did you get?
I got 499 for the Oilers, 557 for Dallas.
Let's go with that.
So they're distantly last in hits. Florida leads the league with 1,123. The Oilers have way less than half as many hits as Florida. So here's what I think. I do not think the Oilers are a physical team. I do not think they're as physical as last year. We know who some of the players that they don't have or who have departed. Kane certainly, Desharnais would hit. Even Fogle might be credited with a few hits along the way. I also think, and I've said this numerous times, and I continue to believe it based on both the stats and my observations, Draisaitl and McDavid often lead the charge, or are two of the guys leading the physical charge. I don't think they have been overtly physical as they usually have been. I think that might be a conscious choice to
preserve themselves?
To preserve themselves a little bit.
I would agree with that.
That maybe once we get closer to the playoffs, we start seeing a little more aggression from them. So,
like Seattle, they were out hit 23-7.
Well, they only had, I think, 3 hits against the Ducks. Now, there is also truth to it that if you have the puck more, you're not going to hit as much.
Sure.
So I think it's a combination of factors. In some of these games where they haven't had a lot of hits, they've played really well, and they've had the puck. I also think they're not as physical as last year, and I do think they have some players capable of playing physical who maybe aren't having that mentality as much. So then the question is that a weakness, or is that just those players deciding to play a little better? But I mean, the puck possession thing, I don't want to make it sound like it's the be-all and end-all. And I know Dallas Aikens, who wasn't a popular coach here with the fans, and I get that. I mean, he had that clip, well, a perfect game is 0 hits because you have the puck for 60 minutes. That's impossible. But it is a little bit, well, if you play on a team that forces a lot of 2-and-outs or 3-and-outs, depending on what side of the border you're playing football, you probably won't lead the league in tackles.
True.
Because you have fewer offensive plays to try to shut down by the other team. So I think it's a combination of things. Ro Nelson says, Reid and Jay, do you think the Oilers' present style of play is how they play in the playoffs, or is everyone expecting them to turn it on in the playoffs? Florida plays the same in the regular season. I think that's a very valid question.
Agreed.
I don't know how they're going to play in the playoffs. I'm bad at predicting the future, but I do think some of them will pick it up the closer to the playoffs that they get.
I was going to ask you, as you were talking about this hits, I won't say issue, just storyline, is this problematic come playoff time?
Possibly.
That this team is just not physical. And to Ro Nelson's point, I'm sorry, but I don't think you can just flip a switch and say, hey, we're going to be aggressive and tough now. Now, trade deadline changes. Evander Kane, who would be the most physical player on this team, is not on the team right now.
And as Tom has reported, we still don't know if he's going to be, ever. I think to a certain degree you can flip a switch. You just probably have to start doing it in the last 20 games of the season.
Which, according to what you said about, players like McDavid and Draisaitl, they can turn it up a bit.
I think with the veteran, I know this goes against maybe some common thinking, and I know, well, you should try as hard as you can all the time. Folks, gonna break your heart here. Even the best in the world don't do that. Tom Brady didn't treat a drive when they were up 14 points in week 7 against the worst team in the league the same as the Super Bowl drive. It just doesn't happen. I remember, I often reference the Alex Chason quote that he gave, and he's not the only player to say it. By the way, Alex Chason formally announced his retirement today, where he said it's a different league in September, then in December, then in March, then in the playoffs. And I remember the Brendan Shanahan story when he played. Like, Shanahan, as you remember, like he was a true power forward. And he would say, I usually fight once early in the season. Then I fight in December just to remind people that I can fight. And then I fight just before the playoffs to remind people that I might fight. Like, he's just doing. So in some ways, that's a form of flipping a switch. That's him saying, I can do this all the time, but I'm really just doing it to remind you that I'll do it. And I might kick the crap out of you. So don't push me. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I'm just looking here because it was mentioned in the Nasty Chat. What were the hits last year? Where was this team last year?
Well, I don't even know.
They ranked in hits given. They were 16th.
So middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack. But, Reid, as you alluded to, a much different makeup of a team. A much more physical team.
Yeah, I mean, even CeCe would have been more physical than Emberson if you want to do guy-for-guy comparison. I think it's a story. I don't see it as a devastating weakness, I guess, is what I would say.
See, come playoff time, I do. Because you look at Paul Maurice in that documentary, what he said to his players. Punish them. Punish, so that by the 6th, 7th game, they don't even want to look at you. It does break down your will. Right? Now, you can only skill your way out of that so much until you get popped. I think this, and I hope that is correct, that this team can start ramping that up. Because physicality is a huge part of playoff hockey.
Yes, well, absolutely.
Right? But now,
but not all physicality manifests itself in body checks. I also think.
Wow, that was very well said.
I mean, there are things like puck possession and proper position that are and board battles that are involve physicality, but might not involve getting a stat for a body check.
Fair point.
The inbox 780-218-9999 is how you can text it, and it's presented by River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant. All you can eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every Friday from 4 to 10 p.m. We'll get to some of your texts coming in as well. You can hop into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Continue to flick the thumbs up. We are very, very close to 100. Let's get there ASAP. Here comes the Kub.
Just 4 games in the NHL, including the Canucks battling the Canadiens, the Sabres playing the Caps, and the Devils meeting the Kraken. While in New York, the Rangers have claimed Arthur Kaliev off waivers from the Kings. And down south, head coach Doug Peterson has been fired by the Jags, and the Seahawks have laid off Ryan Grube as the team's offensive coordinator. In 9 games, the NBA slate seeing Toronto play Milwaukee, and the Mavericks will face the Grizzlies without Kyrie Irving as he's out 1 to 2 weeks due to a bulging disc in his back. This sports update is brought to you by Advantage sports medicine, and physiotherapy. Get treated like a pro with their highly skilled crew. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance your performance, Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy uses the same locker room approach, trusted by the best in the game. Find them online at AdvantageSportMed.ca. More Oilers chat after the break here on The Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Play more tables and games. Play more tables and games. Make the most of your bad game. Oh, you want to, you need to, you know just what you've gotta do. It's time to add some fun to your life. Make the most of your fan game. Play more tables and games.
Play more games. The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level. Trackman golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit in-store or at thecanadianicehouse.com for details.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
So tomorrow the Oilers play the Boston Bruins. One of my, what did we call them? My overly specific predictions for the Oilers season will not come true. Because one of them was that, well, maybe it was either tomorrow or Thursday.
I'm sure
I thought it was
Pittsburgh.
tomorrow. Okay, I thought
I'm
it was
sure
Boston.
It was Pittsburgh.
Anyway, I said that Noah Philp would score his first NHL goal this week. Another one was that Connor Brown would score 20 goals, with the 20th being in overtime in the final game of the season. I don't remember what my third one was.
Okay, say the second one.
That Connor Brown would have score exactly 20 goals, with his 20th goal being the overtime winner in the final game of the season against San Jose because the big guys were sat out.
Wasn't it Evan Bouchard related?
I said that one of Bouchard, McCarr, or Hughes would have 100 points.
Right.
I believe. I don't know. That might have been a different day, though.
It was at Sit and Sleep.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, but I think the Connor Brown stuff was here. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun to make predictions. At least we went back and looked at our NFL ones.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, I guess you're not that thrilled about it.
Made me feel like a nitwit.
There's an underused word.
Justin of Balgoni says there's no better advertisement song than the Playmore Tables and Games. It's a banger.
There's no better advertisement for Playmore Tables and Games than how often I play track and field on the classic arcade machine.
Yeah.
That's
it is.
I'm truly a one-man billboard for Playmore Tables and Games.
Can you imagine, though, if we find something other than track and field that is just as exciting?
Well, the guys are playing Tecmo.
I mean, that's fun and all.
I've discovered also a game called Exodus, where you play as Moses.
Yes. And you're
but it's sort of
with
like Pac-Man-ish.
Yeah.
But it's not exactly Pac-Man, but it's Pac-Man-ish, and you have to collect Bibles.
And for those of you that grew up in the church, the background music for it is Father Abraham.
Yes. So we were quite... Well, so what I did was... There's
trivia.
And you have to answer Bible trivia in between that Jay had to help me with.
Yeah.
Well, I sort of knew it, but you were like, no, it's that one.
No. The one where why did they not? Oh, which babies did the Pharaoh order them to kill?
Yes.
It was just the male babies.
What a nice story.
He didn't want any competition.
The River Cree inbox is 780-218-9999. And you can email Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and you can jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Get us to 100 thumbs up. We're almost there. The show's only half over. Get us there and way over, because Jay's going to have a word of the day at some point. I do have an email from the Big Uke. He says he's back at it with his limerick of the day. He says, well, now that the holiday season is done, time to get back to work. Slacking? How about none? New year, more limerick. Hoping no one got real sick. Cheers to the future. Let's have us some fun. The Big Uke, who is a molten mound of magma. That's some good stuff.
Can't wait to see the old Uke.
What I was saying, though, was that the Oilers play Boston tomorrow. It's at 5 o'clock. So we will have the Oil Stream GCL Diesel pregame show at 4 with Tom and Hernan. So the Reid Wilkins show with Jay Milne tomorrow will be in two halves, from 3 to 4. And then from 5 to 6, and we'll be following along on the Oilers game on the ESTV here in studio. We're going to have to turn that TV on for the football game. We'll tell you what football game later when Jay gives you his game of the night for Playmore Tables and Games.
Big game.
Big game. Interesting game. You found some interesting connections there.
I did.
Let's do buying or selling, courtesy Damon Bunting. He's been a consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 17 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com. Instagram handle, Damon Bunting Real Estate. And for buying or selling, we will see what the Nasties are buying or selling in the River Cree inbox about our beloved Edmonton Oilers.
Well, lots of discussion. Obviously, I've been curating a list here that was emailed in. And this is one right off the top that I got to ask you. And it relates to this text that came in from Rance. Do you guys see Knobloch as a candidate for Coach of the Year? Reid, let me ask you this. Buying or selling, Chris Knobloch will be named the NHL Coach of the Year.
Well, I'm going to sell that, and I'm actually even going to sell that he'll be a finalist in the top 3.
I don't think why. Why?
Well, here's the thing. Just off the top of my head, and I quickly just brought up the head coaches to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I think you would have to think of Jim Hiller in Los Angeles. You would certainly have to think of Spencer Carberry in Washington. He might be the favorite right now. Scott Arniel in Winnipeg, I think, would be up there. Who else? John Hines in Minnesota. I just off the top of my head, those would be 4 guys who I would think would get more votes than Chris Knobloch at the moment. Now, who knows? If the Oilers play 770 hockey and win the division and maybe even challenge for the President's Trophy, maybe that changes the outlook. The Coach of the Year, Jay, often goes to an overachieving team, or maybe just the coach of a team that did so well you can't deny that they just had an excellent season. So right now, in terms of overachieving, I think that's where Carberry for the Capitals would have the inside track. Still with over half a season to go.
Yeah. Would Brindamore be up there?
He usually gets consideration, yeah. He's won it, right? I'm so bad at remembering the Coach of the Years. Jack Adams winners. Tocchet last year, Montgomery with Boston in 23, Sutter with the Flames in 2022, Brindamore with the Hurricanes in 2021, Cassidy with the Bruins. And one thing, Coach of the Year, usually not with that team 2 years after he won Coach of the Year. Not always, but often.
Well, you look at Andrew Brunette was a finalist last year. Don't think he's going to find his name on that list this year. For your
Nashville
Predators,
preseason
Reid.
Stanley Cup pick. Speaking of embarrassing, that's the worst pick on this show so far. Season's not over. Maybe they'll rally.
I left the flipping Buffalo Bills. off the playoff list. That's almost inexcusable. I think I might even have to add another month of probation.
Just don't admit it.
7 months. There it is. I'm fine with that. I deserve it.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Well,
now when they do the just hang on here. I want to look at the voting. Jack Adams voting breakdown. So, yeah, people vote for 3. So, Knobloch finished 5th last year. He got 3 first-place votes, 12 second, and 13 third-place votes. Here's the thing. I think Knobloch will get votes for Coach of the Year. I don't think it'll be enough for him to be in the top 3. But we still got half the season to go.
Okay. There is no more useless stat in the NHL than hits. It's possible to play physical and occupy territory without delivering a body check. The Oilers seem fine at getting the puck away from their opponents. That comes in from Terry.
Well, I think that's sort of maybe referencing what I said earlier. There are different kinds of physicalities in hockey. There is outright drilling a guy into the boards. And then there's the physicality. Well, what have I often said about Hyman? Zach Hyman may not deliver a big body check, but I consider him a very physical player. He's engaged along the boards. He protects the puck. He fights along the wall. He forechecks. He wins board battles. So if the puck is dumped into the corner and Hyman goes in there with a guy and they're tied up and they're hip checking each other and they're trying to get their butts into position, and Hyman does that and skates out of the corner with the puck or chips it along the wall so McDavid gets it, he's not going to get credit for a hit. He has done his job and he's played very physical. So that's why I say, okay, do I think the hit stat is an indicator that the Oilers aren't an overly physical team? Yes. But do I think there's more to physicality than just getting the hit stat? Yes. No idea if Jay is convinced or not.
No, I'm just thinking if you can't hear.
If you can't hear his thoughts.
Yeah.
Professor X, where are you?
I mean, for a player like Hyman to get in that positioning, you're right. That takes an incredible amount of physicality.
Yes.
And to endure that and to occupy that space, you take quite a beating. So, yeah, that's fair. I wanted to get to this one, Reid, before we go to break. Maybe you can think on it, stew on it. I'm not sure.
I may have an answer for it.
The Oilers' inability to bury teams is concerning. Against good teams, they won't have the benefit of a 3-0 cushion to begin with. That comes in from Joseph.
Yeah, I get that as well. I also, I mean, look, we talk about the team every day. We pick the team apart every day. And now with this version of the team in the McDavid Draisaitl era, we're thinking Stanley Cup, that's where they got to be. So, yes, there are some little things where you might say, will that work in the playoffs? The counter to that is this ain't the playoffs. They may change a player or two by then, and I always go back to last season when they played Dallas in March and they lost 5-0, and I thought, well, they're clearly not good enough to win in the playoffs. Big game in Dallas in March, you got killed. Well, they did pretty good against Dallas in the post. But yes, big picture, sometimes it just could be 1 or 2% that separates two teams in a playoff series. Okay, maybe, but we'll see. Rip City Step says Draisaitl should win the Jack Adams for picking Pud Colson as a line mate. That's pretty funny. All right. The River Korean box is 780-218-9999. And, of course, portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. The Canadian Ice House is taking your sports experience to a higher level of ultra cool. TrackMan golf simulators are now open at the Ice House, an immersive and realistic golfing experience in the heart of downtown Edmonton. Visit thecanadianicehouse.com. We're going to get fired up for Gemco when we get back to the Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
The Capitals and Sabres kick off the night on a 4-game NHL slate, while Vancouver captain Quinn Hughes is a game-time decision for the Canucks Canadiens game. And in the NFL, the Seahawks have let go Offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb and Doug Peterson has been relieved of his head coaching duties from the Jags. Basketball sees 9 games, having the Raps battling the Bucks, while Kyrie Irving of the Mavericks is out 1 to 2 weeks due to a bulging disc in his back, with Dallas in action tonight against the Grizzlies. This sports update is brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly family owned and operated for 33 years, Paramount Flooring is your full-service flooring and tile supplier. Whether you're a homeowner, renovator, or builder, Paramount Flooring provides the flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Visit their showroom that's open 7 days a week at 10707 184th Street. Paramount Flooring, flooring for the life that you live. After a quick timeout, the Reid Wilkins Show with Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Tommy Gunn's Barbershop is more than just a barbershop. It's a top-notch, tailor-made experience from check-in to check-out. Get a precision haircut, a classic shave, or a facial to step up your style. Just walk in, relax, and let Tommy Guns take it from there. Find comfort in knowing their team follows the code, which is their commitment to care for you as a customer. Check out Tommy Guns today, in-store or online at TommyGuns.com to bring out the best in you. Tommy Guns, where every cut is done right every time.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store, or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
All right, appreciate you tuning in this afternoon. Monday, January 6th. Jay Milne has proclaimed this the most worked day of the year.
Yeah,
nobody takes this day off. Or you can't.
Well, you could, but you shouldn't need to.
Well, if you're a teacher, you probably wouldn't.
I don't know if you know. I guess if you maybe a cruise or something, but it would be. Yeah, I just think most people just had some break.
Yes, probably some form of break. Is this the most? Here's a question for you.
What? Ask ChatGPT.
Is this the most? Is this the most? Is this the busiest day of the year for fitness places, rec centers, workout clubs?
Oh, probably.
It might be. It might be. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox. Before we do Fire It Up, you want to hit me with a couple more?
Yes, I just I looked here, Reid. The first Monday in October is often it's considered one of the most productive days.
Oh, really?
Of the year.
Productive days of the year.
Yeah, not most worked.
Now, my dear mother has just texted me reminding me that today is Ukrainian Christmas Eve and tomorrow is Christmas Day. So there may be some people not working today for those reasons.
And how fitting. Oh, shoot. Okay, Zach, next break, I'm going to go grab that pickled herring. You and I will chow down.
Yeah, I don't think I want any.
Grab a couple forks, You know?
How'd you celebrate going to the dentist, Reid? I ate some pickled herring. I want to remind everybody, too, the off-topic topic for William Huff is we want your horror story about going to the dentist. We had a couple really good ones sent in, including a guy that got his infected tooth pulled without being frozen.
No juice.
In the 1970s. Maybe that was standard procedure. Well, he said the 70s. Maybe it was the 1870s. There was no anesthetic available. It was like one of those old Westerns when a guy has to get a procedure and they just give him a shot of whiskey and then he clenches his teeth. Okay, go ahead.
Do it.
Do it now.
Go ahead. Make my day.
That's Clint Eastwood in
That's him.
Dirty Harry.
A couple more texts, Reid. Do you want me to get to them right now?
Let's do them now.
Sure. This comes in from Thigh Master. Did you ever own a Thigh Master?
I did not. I don't even have to think about that. Did you?
No, I did not. Koob, would you even know what a Thigh Master is? Okay, he knows.
He sort of knows, yeah.
He sort of knows.
It's a D&D character. I curse your thighs.
For I am Thigh Master.
That's right.
So this came in from Thigh Master. Oilers are soft. No one wants to hit. No one wants to fight. If Leon and Connor aren't controlling the puck, the Oilers have no way to get momentum back. That one from Thigh Master.
My short answer to that would be I think that's a bit of an overreaction or exaggeration. What do you think?
Well, let's focus on the first part of that. The Oilers are soft. Are the Oilers soft?
No, I don't think they're soft just because they don't have a lot of hits. I really don't.
Glaringly last in the league.
Like if they were soft, they wouldn't have the record that they do. I mean, that implies you back down and you can't take initiative and you don't come back and things like that.
Fair point. This comes in from Butch Snoring. What a name.
Well, you remember Butch Goring?
Oh, jeepers.
I think he's an Islanders broadcaster.
Wow. Our listeners are creative. I thought Jeff Skinner looked like a new man since he was scratched. More engaged, and I loved the finish on his goal against the Kraken.
I thought that was a great goal. Now, he's got a breakaway, but he has to elevate that puck, right? He's got to get that over the pad, and he certainly did.
In a phone
He
booth.
roofed that. Yeah, and he was in tight. That's what he can do. But I think that's what we need, right? Put in the work, and then let your skill take over when you have a chance like that.
That was the Jeff Skinner that the Oilers acquired.
Well, that's who they hoped they were getting.
That type of playmaking, scoring ability, smooth hands.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that was a great goal.
I think
that was
the
a really
kids
nice
say
goal.
filthy mitts.
That's exactly what they say.
That's what the kids
Thanks
say.
for clarifying.
Ro Nelson is on fire in the nasty chat.
Ro Nelson's busy today. That's fine.
No, it's good.
That's what I mean. Busy in the
Right.
chat. That's great. Give us a thumbs up.
Hits are just another tool in the toolbox to help create both offense or defense. Ask Talkit if Sherwood matters to Vancouver, and ask Sherwood if hits increase matters to his increased production.
Yeah, sure. No, I'm not. I don't think the Row is saying that. I mean, physicality and hitting and aggression is important in hockey. I just don't know if we can sit here and say, well, the Oilers are last in hits, so it's hopeless. And I don't think they're a soft team at all. Do you?
No. Would I like them to be more physical? Yes.
Yeah, sure. At times. Yeah, maybe.
But like I said, there is a big day coming. It's called trade deadline, and we're of the belief that the Oilers are going to be quite active, or not quite active.
Well, they'll probably beef up on the blue line if they can.
They have to. It's not a probably, right?
No, they should.
Tell me I'm right, Reid.
I would think that they will certainly try to.
And you're missing your most physical player on your roster in Evander Kane. Now, if he comes back or not, that's to be determined.
Yeah.
TBD, brah.
TBD, brah. All right. It is time to get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. Proudly serving Edmonton and area for 45 years. The authorized dealer for Napoleon Fireplaces, whether it's gas or wood burning, look no further than Canadian-made Napoleon Fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need are available at Gemco 9281 50th Street. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, I can go first. I'm fired up.
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
No.
I know what this is.
What?
Jaden Daniels Sunday Night Football.
I'm fired up for the playoffs.
The schedule.
Yes, I'm fired up for the playoffs. I think And yes, I am somewhat biased in that. But no, I mean, who doesn't like the NFL playoffs? You got some great matchups coming. Did you see the end of there was about 4 minutes yesterday in the late slate of the early games that molded, speaking of pottery, it was like that scene in Ghost.
Right.
A lot of things came together in a relatively short amount of time. The Commanders came back to beat the Cowboys.
Right.
But they also, in order for them to get the 6th seed, they needed the Packers to lose, who went ahead late on the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
The Bears came back and kicked a game-winning field goal. The Commanders came back and beat the Cowboys. So that changed that because now Green Bay has to go to Philadelphia.
Right.
And the Commanders have to go to Tampa Bay, which I much prefer. I much prefer that matchup, although it's going to be tough. But I do like it also because I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a little Jekyll and Hyde. So if
I think the Commanders are going to win that game.
You do?
Now I've already made 2 of my picks.
Oh,
I'm giving too much away. I must be silent.
And then you had Kansas City absolutely mailing it in. That was bad.
I didn't see any of the morning games, and I didn't see much of the afternoon games, which I will explain in a second here.
The afternoon games were meh.
Well, was there anything on the line by the time we got to the afternoon?
What was it? Well, yeah, wasn't the Denver-Kansas City game in the afternoon?
Oh,
yeah, it was.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the only one Denver had to win. Otherwise,
Miami or the Bengals could have got in.
The Bengals would have got in.
Because Miami wound up losing to the Jets, right?
That's right. The Bengals would have got in, but that was just a terrible game. I don't know what, like Kansas City there was nothing there. That's not a great way to enter the playoffs, but I think they'll be fine. And I am fired up that they have primetime Monday playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's the 3rd year they've done it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. You got Minnesota, who, Reid, are 100% fraudulent.
Okay, well, they're not fraudulent. They went 14-3 for a reason. They won a lot of games. They played well a lot, but they did not look good last night. And Darnold's a great story, but he did not look like a upper echelon quarterback yesterday against the Lions. So, and I think the Rams, I mean, they started poorly. If you take out their first month of the season, they would have been up there for maybe not the number 1 seed, but the
their number
2.
1 receiver was out.
Right. They're one of, to me, the Rams are one of those teams. You know how we talk about in hockey, Ken Holland used to say, you just want to be in every year. You just want to be in the playoffs every year and then hope that some years it just all falls together. To me, that's the Rams. They're there pretty much every year. They're not awesome every year. They're not. I mean, they've been to a couple Super Bowls under this coach already, right? They're there every year. They're well coached. They got good players. They got a good D-line. I think they're very dangerous. So I don't think that the Vikings are fraudulent. I just think that they're not quite as good as some other really good teams, including the Rams, despite their record.
Well, the Lions look like a unit, and I would love to see them go all the way. They will be playing in a domed arena or field,
right,
for their entire playoffs.
Yes, if they have 2 playoff games, they'd be both at home, which would be big. The Lions are such a long-suffering franchise, right?
Yes.
We have Dustin Nielsen likes the Lions. I got a good buddy back in Lloydminster who's a Lions fan.
Minnesota's pretty
dire fair enough. Yeah.
But they're frauds.
That's so extreme.
They are frauds.
They're 14-3.
Okay.
How can you be a 14-3 fraud? Who did they? So they lost to the Lions twice. What was their other loss?
To
and didn't they beat the Rams during the regular season?
They lost to the Rams.
They lost to the Rams, and they will lose again.
So I mean, if you look at who they beat,
they beat good teams.
They whooped the Eagles, but the Eagles started very poorly.
Right.
They beat the Giants. They beat the 49ers. They beat the Texans. They eked out a win against the Packers. They beat the Jets. They lost to the Lions. They lost to the Rams. They beat the Colts. They beat the Jags. They beat the Titans. They beat these aren't good teams.
Okay, but they would have a similar schedule to the Lions, though, because they're in the same division. They would have 14 out of 17 common games, I think.
Sure, but the Lions looked like a Super Bowl contender last
for
night.
sure they did. For sure
the
they
Vikings looked anything but. It was like Sam Darnold started seeing ghosts again. Do you remember that?
No, when did he see a ghost?
When he played in the Jets, he said after a bad game that he thought he was seeing.
Did he say that? I don't even remember that.
Terrible quote.
All right. Give us a thumbs up if you are watching on YouTube. We are so close to 100. And we have over 100 people in on YouTube, and also encourage other people as well. I want to remind everybody, we're still a relatively new station here. We're relying a lot on word of mouth. I showed my dental hygienist how to use the app because her husband is a big hockey fan.
Well, there you go.
And would have heard me on my previous job. And I was like, hey, this is what I'm doing now. So when we know you know because you're already listening, but please tell other people who are interested in Edmonton sports and just people having fun on the air. iHeartRadio is an app you can use. TuneIn Radio is an app you can use. Of course, on YouTube, look up Edmonton Sports Talk. Give us a subscription. Favorite it on those apps as well. Podcast, you can get us wherever you get your podcasts. And anything you do helps generate an algorithm where Captain AI will recommend us to like-minded people as well.
Your buddy.
Which is pretty fun.
Reid, what
our buddy.
What are you fired up about?
All right, so here's what happened.
Oh, boy. Buckle up, folks.
Well, I'm not going to get all emotional about it.
I'd like you to.
Well, first of all, I should say I thought, despite everything, what day was it we did the Hockey Canada is Terrible show? Well, that's an exaggeration. Friday?
Friday.
The World Junior weekend games were pretty cool. I mean, Finland and Sweden went to overtime. The gold medal game went to overtime. I was sort of flipping back and forth between that and the Lions-Vikings game. But I watched the last half of the third period and all of the overtime. 3-on-3. Now, the States fully deserved to win. They had 4 or 5 chances before they scored. But I thought to myself, this is still a great tournament. I mean, the whole thing doesn't suck just because Canada's not in it. And credit to the States for winning it again. They made a very pretty play, very skilled play on the 3-on-3 overtime winner. And Finland hung around. I mean, Finland had a really good first period from what I saw. I didn't see much of the second period, but that was a great game. I thought that was a great ending to that tournament. And I think that we're reminded that there are a lot of great players in that tournament. And as I say this, Fish Tank says 3-on-3 overtime in the gold medal game is garbage. I don't know if it's garbage. I think for the gold medal game, 5-on-5 would be better, but I think they want to end the game within 20 minutes, right? They don't want it to go multiple overtimes. They don't want to have a shootout in the gold medal game anymore, so they made it 3-on-3. And let's face it, it's not for the Stanley Cup. You know, it's the World Junior Tournament, so I'm fine with them having 3-on-3. I didn't think it was boring. I mean, there were times where it was slowed down a little bit, but the United States had several good chances. I didn't think it was boring at all. I thought it was quite tense and fun to watch. So I'm fired up about that being good. I'll tell the other story when we get back, because it's a story I want to tell anyway, because it's a bit of an annoyance about modern technology and trying to connect different devices to each other and how things constantly change. We're also going to get to my top 3. We're going to get to our game of the night. We got the Kub.
The Caps and Sabres open up the night before the Canucks take on the Canadiens. The Panthers meet the Avalanche, and the Devils battle the Kraken, seeing the Oilers back in action against the Bruins tomorrow. And there's 9 games in the NBA, having the Raptors tip off with the Bucks, and the Mavericks face the Grizzlies with Dallas's Kyrie Irving out for up to 2 weeks due to having a bulging disc in his back. And in baseball, the Reds have acquired infielder Gavin Lux from the Dodgers, sending outfielder Mike Sirota and a competitive balance round A pick the other way to Cincinnati. Elsewhere, UFC fighter Dominic Cruz will fight for the first time in 2 years when he faces Rob Font February 22nd, while Song Yadong steps in against Henry Cejudo that same day. The Reid Wilkins Show returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at WilliamHuff.com.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers understood.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to JamesHBrown.com.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Brown studio. James H. Brown, personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out, jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Oilers practiced in Boston. McDavid centering Nugent Hopkins and Brown. Draisaitl between Podkolzin and Arvidsson. Henrique with Jeff Skinner and Hyman. And Janmark between Perry and Kapanen. 5 o'clock game tomorrow. Our coverage will start at 4 with the GCL Diesel pregame show. You can text us in the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999, in the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Our off-topic topic for William Huff is a dentist horror story. Ro Nelson says, I was 5. All 6 of us kids got taken to the dentist. My first time as the youngest. My one sister came out still with the napkin around her neck, soaked full of blood, and said, "You're next." Wow, that's incredible. And we are over 100 thumbs up. Let's see how high. When are you going to give the word of the day? At all?
Let's see how fast we can get up to 120.
Okay.
Because we were saying 130.
Yeah, you did set 130 as the plateau.
But let's meet in the middle. Okay, let's meet in the middle today. 115.
All right.
And Zach and I.
Are you doing. I don't want to eat this on air because I don't, just in case I get sick. And I still got that weird dentist taste in my mouth. I'm not doing the pickled herring. I mean, and plus I've had it, so I know what pickled fish tastes like. But you guys want to do it on air for some reason.
Well, it's in solidarity for our.
When is he going to do it? Do we even know?
Tomorrow.
He is doing it tomorrow. What time?
I don't know. He said he was going to do it tomorrow.
Zach said there's so much onion in here.
I think he was surprised. They were on the oil stream. And I brought the jar into the studio, and I think he was surprised with the look of it. Yeah, Koob, you just bring that thing on over here.
All right, we're gonna eat the pickled herring.
You sure?
By we, I mean these two guys.
You sure you don't want any, bud?
No, I'm good. Like I don't need to eat things while I'm hosting a show.
Not even in solidarity for your boss.
He's
Cube.
solid enough without me.
I know, but does he have enough
He's
arity?
perfectly solid.
Okay, Coob.
Hold on.
Where did you get this pickled herring? Did
Costco.
you buy it? When?
That's about a year old.
Okay.
It lasts for a very long time.
It's for the season. It's for the holiday season.
Okay.
It's a Ukrainian delight.
So this is exactly what Dustin's going to eat tomorrow out of this jar.
Yes.
I'd imagine.
Okay.
Yes. Cheers, Coob.
So so you guys are having this just because he's going to have it. All right.
It's
You just want to have it.
we're standing together
All right.
to support our boss, Reid.
Okay. Well, good.
Some of us like to do that.
He probably doesn't care whether you guys had any or not, because the point is for him to have some.
You okay, Coop?
What's going on, Coop?
I'm doing great. He's
Coop
gonna
needs some ice cream to wash it down.
He is gonna puke.
Well, why are we making him eat it then?
He's the one that said he did. He would.
Well,
I didn't make this up. I didn't write the rules. Those were the rules of engagement.
All right. Well, okay. There's pickled herring. Beautiful. So
do you think he researched it at all? Sorry.
He on the morning show today.
It does not smell good. It does not have an appetizing smell.
We might have to get the lid on this thing.
Yeah,
Coop.
well, just put the lid on. You have the jar right there. Put the lid on.
I don't have the lid. I don't have the lid.
Oh, my God.
Thanks, Coop.
All right. We're putting the lid back on the
This
pickled
is for
herring.
those on the audio stream.
Wow. I'm going to turn into a radioactive herring. Yes. Thank you.
Lid is on.
The lid is on. The smell will dissipate.
It's salty. It's pickly. I mean, if you're not a fan of pickled herring, you're missing out.
You know what I like is the pickled asparagus. Oh, that stuff is good.
I believe they're asparagus spears.
Yes, they are.
Ha!
You could throw them.
Reid, this came in from Vic, a very loyal listener of the Reid Wilkins show. When I was young, I went to the dentist. He wanted to fill a couple cavities, so he froze the left side of my mouth. After 5 minutes, he came back and proceeded to drill on the right side of my mouth.
Oh, no.
I jumped, and it scared the crap out of him. He got mad and asked, what was I doing? I told him he froze the wrong side of my mouth. Oh, he said.
Oh.
He then froze the right side of my mouth and finished. I was drooling and frozen for the whole afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Vic.
That's tough.
And you know what I appreciate? I appreciate the wolf, also a loyal listener. He always refers to himself in first person on the text line. That's the River Cree text line. Not only does the wolf have today off, I went to the gym twice. And after supper, I'm going to the Blackstone Outdoor Rink in Leduc because the ice is gorgeous.
Oh, perfect. Whatever happened to the guy on the hotel balcony in Beaumont? He must have gone home. Must have not needed the hotel anymore.
Maybe he changed locations.
Maybe. All right. 780-218-9999 is the River Cree inbox.
Oh, Iwanek says, stop trying to protect Dusty, Reid.
Oh, well,
he did call you a bit of a Dusty apologist.
Between you and me, I'll let you know when I start caring about Iwanek thinks. What Iwanek thinks. I just want to tell a quick, we could say this is part of Fired Up for Gemco or whatever. So here's the thing. So Saturday night, I'm watching the Oilers game at my mom and dad's, and I'm not referring to the little power outage they had 11 seconds into the game. We're a little past the halfway point of the first period, and my parents' TV screen goes black, and the audio keeps coming through, okay? The TV's about 6.5 years old. You know, my mom quickly Googles the troubleshooting stuff, and it's all, make sure the TV is plugged in, make sure the HDMI, but everything's fine. I think the picture just fritzed out on the TV. So I brought up the TV that my parents have in the basement, which is still a flat screen, but quite an older model for flat screens. And it's not a smart TV, so they couldn't get YouTube on that TV that was in the basement and watch our show or watch Edmonton Sports Talk. So Sunday, I take my dad to get a TV, and he found a TV that he wanted at Best Buy. They had it in stock, and we bring it home and we set it up. Now, my dad has a sound bar. I thought sound bars were still a thing. I guess they are. But here's the thing, everybody. and please tell me if you've run into this problem, because I find this frustrating, is, there's new technology. Like to me, at least what I've seemed to know, soundbars sort of to a degree replaced the surround sound. You don't have a lot as many people I don't hear about have the rear speakers anymore. Though I guess you can do that through Bluetooth, but it seems like there's less surround sound now, and you just have a soundbar. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I feel.
If you have a soundbar.
Right. So here's the thing. So my dad, the soundbar has the optical input, and the previous TV he had the optical output.
That's three things.
No, that's the little, it's flat with a little round nub coming out of it. The three thing is still the RCA jacks, I think. So it's called optical, and and I think it even goes in through a little flap. So we set up the TV, and there are hardly any outputs on it. There's a USB. Well, there weren't any outputs, actually. There's a USB, there's two HDMIs, there's a LAN, which I think is for the internet, and there's a standard antenna jack, and there's the power. So there's nothing to put the output. So I said, okay, it looks like you're going to have to listen to this through this. But after we set up, I said, look, I'll go to Best Buy and see what's going on. So I talked to another person, and he said, okay, I'll look at the TV. He goes, yeah, there's no optical. He goes, I don't know how many TVs have optical anymore. I said, so how do you get it to talk to a soundbar? And he said, well, most soundbars now are USB in and out. So you would take a USB from your TV into the USB on the soundbar. So my dad's soundbar, I think, is now useless. And this is what's frustrating, right? Because technology advances and you think, okay, this is the thing now. This is the setup. And to me, there was nothing wrong with an optical input or output, but they're not using it anymore. So my dad has this soundbar, which again is probably 7 or 8 years old. He can't use it.
That's terrible, eh? That's how fast things change, though. I wonder if you could. So, okay, now are they getting a new TV?
Yes.
We got the new TV yesterday.
But they can't use the soundbar with it.
But so would they make now wireless soundbars?
So that's another thing I asked the guy. I said, how does a TV talk to a soundbar? And they said there's also Bluetooth. So the most common corded connection, physical connection, is USB, and now there's also Bluetooth. So you just tell your TV, search for a Bluetooth soundbar, and there you go.
Have you looked into adapters?
I asked if there's something, and he kind of looked at some of their cables, and he said they don't have anything.
What was the original one off the soundbar? It's a what?
Optical. So we'd have to go USB to optical, which I don't even know if they make. I didn't check. So,
yeah, they got them.
How much are they?
USB to optical audio adapter. $23.99.
I'll have to look. I don't know if my dad would even want to bother with it at this point. And there's always the concern that those don't work, that it just somehow still won't work. But it's just kind of like the technology also. I know it's great, but sometimes I feel as if it moves too fast. What was wrong with the way it was? Can we not leave it that way for, I don't know, a decade, 20 years? I guess not. I guess I'm old-fashioned.
It is, and Easy E says, that would frustrate me, Reid.
It did frustrate me. It did frustrate me.
And I'm sure it frustrated your parents.
And one thing I'm worried about the new TV is the remote's very different than the previous TV, and now my parents have to get used to a new remote.
That's
terrible. There are hardly any buttons on it. There's a circle, and then there's a ring around the circle that you touch to move up, down, left, or right, but there are no arrows on them. And I'd feel better for my parents, well, for anybody, if the arrows were just on there. And the big button doesn't say okay, it just says enter. It's just sort of a big flat circular button, and then it's got the rim around it where you move directionally. Brutal. And here's another thing. When you turn the TV on, it doesn't automatically play the cable. You have to select HDMI because now there are so many apps on it.
That's my biggest.
Just have the TV come on with cable.
Boy, I tell you what. That is my biggest PO of all time. You turn on the TV, then you have to go to the input and select which. Is there not a better way?
Could it not just assume we're going to watch cable television?
Or just always go to the cable TV?
Right.
And then, if you want to watch the Apple TV or
then
the
we
girls,
have to pick it anyway.
Then I can switch.
But
I don't want to have to
something on
switch
there.
just to get to where I always want to go. What the heck is that all about?
I know.
I'm fired up again.
So that's just that's my little technology. Of course, Awanik says that he has a solution.
Yes, he would be the guy. He would love to.
And
do that.
Jimbo says there is an optical to HDMI adapter. So I'll have to. I forgot to look into that yesterday. Maybe my parents will say, you know what, it's fine the way it is. Maybe they'll say the sound is fine. But they got the sound bar. Maybe there's a way to use it. 780-218-9999 is the inbox, and it is now proudly presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. The afternoon, of course, the River Cree Resort and Casino featuring Italia Restaurant, home of the $6.99 brunch special from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. We got to do my top three. We got to do the game of the night. We got to get to more of your messages.
Hang on.
What?
We've reached a different status now.
What happened?
We have a bootski in said River Cree inbox writing a limerick for Big Uke. We have listeners writing
limericks about each other's limericks. All right, that's good.
Okay, let's do this, Zach. Hit the limerick music. We're going to roll with this one right now. This is from a bootski, my limerick for Big Uke. Limerick lover Big Uke carried his lunch in a toque. His sandwich got hairy, which made him quite sweary. In fact, he went off like a nuke.
That is really good, actually.
Done.
That's exceptional.
Well done.
That is exceptional. That was a bootski?
A bootski.
I don't know if he's written a limerick before.
I don't know. And Rip City Step chiming in. Jay, in defense of your Jags pick, the Jaguars wrapped up their season with their 10th one-score loss, the most by any team in a single season in the Super Bowl era since 1966.
So say that again?
The Jaguars wrapped up their season with their 10th one-score loss, the most by any team in a single season in the Super Bowl era. So they played in a lot of tight games.
So they played a lot of close games.
They could have been there.
Just weren't good enough to win. We have we reached our threshold for the word of the day? Come on, we need 4 thumbs up.
We're close.
Yeah, let's get them. And it's going to be my top 3 vampire movies.
Oh,
some
yes.
thoughts on a vampire movie that I saw Saturday. Still plenty to come. Reid Wilkins Show on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports.
The Sabres lead the Capitals 1-0 just 5 minutes into the first period before Vancouver visits Montreal. The Avalanche play the Panthers and the Kraken meet the Devils. And in the NBA, the Suns trail the 76ers 10-3 and the Trailblazers lead the Pistons 13-9 with both of those games in the first quarter. After that, the Raps battle the Bucks and the Magic and Knicks go at it, seeing 9 games in the association. And down south, the Reds have acquired infielder Gavin Lux from the Dodgers, sending outfielder Mike Sirota and a competitive balance round A pick the other way. Elsewhere, UFC fighter Dominic Cruz will fight for the first time in 2 years when he faces Rob Font February 22nd, while Song Yadong steps in against Henry Cejudo that same day. The Reid Wilkins Show clicks on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Wake up with the Nielsen Show with Dustin Nielsen and Lieutenant Eric. Weekday mornings 6 to 9 on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Make a fresh start in the new year with Sentinel Storage. With convenient locations near you, Sentinel Storage is here to help you make space for everything 2024 holds. Sentinel Storage. Shop Canadian, store Canadian. Try 4 weeks free. Visit sentinelstorage.ca.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the Association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Book your holiday party at the CBH today. The Canadian Brewhouse is your ultimate destination for events, parties, fundraisers, and more. 'Tis the season to celebrate. Visit and book now in-store or at thecanadianbrewhouse.com.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Thank you to everybody who has submitted photographs of their sound setup in their homes. That's amazing how people jumped right to that. Portions of this hour presented by Canadian Brewhouse. Wing Wednesdays, unbeatable at the CBH. Only 69 cents each and a mountain of flavors to savor. They got a flavor of the month every month. Do that wing thing every Wednesday at the Canadian Brewhouse. The inbox, of course, now presented by River Cree Resort and Casino. Great to have them on board. 780-218-9999. The off-topic topic for William Huff was your dentist horror stories. Did we have anything come in that's worth doing right now? Wait a little bit.
Sure.
We'll wait a little bit, see where we get. I was at the dentist earlier today for my cleaning. My tongue is sore. I think because it gets, you got to move it one way. You got the little restrainer thing on it.
There's a lot that goes on in there.
There's a lot that goes on. But my teeth were fairly healthy for the most part. Oilers tomorrow against the Boston Bruins. Again, we were giving you some of the stats for the Oilers. They are great. 18-5-2 since November 9th. Best points percentage in the league in that time. What are they? Second in goals for per game in that stretch. Fifth in goals against per game. Best is it best penalty killing?
Best PK, highest goals for.
Fifth best power play percentage.
Yeah, fifth in goals against.
The PK's 88.9% since November 9th. That's incredible.
There's a lot of people here to help you with your TV struggles, eh?
It's
a lot of people interested.
People like that, and I find, let's face it, I think it's especially men. When you talk technologies, TV setups, no, I did it. No, listen. I did it this way.
Okay, we've done it.
Oh, we got to see how high we can go. So we'll hold off on that.
How high can we go?
Yeah, well, I think we need to get to at least 130 thumbs up, but we will do a word of the day.
There will be a word of the day.
But first, we have our game of the night for Playmore tables and games, from ping pong and pool tables to darts and dome hockey, plus all the classic arcade action you could ask for. Visit Canada's Game Room experts located in Edmonton and Calgary or online at playmoregames.ca. My game of the night will be, I'm going to go first, Jay, because yours is much more interesting, and you did a ton of research. Well, you did,
I wouldn't quite go that
some
far.
research for yours. I'm keeping mine fairly simple again today. I'm going Vancouver at Montreal in the National Hockey League, which I believe it starts at the bottom of the hour. The Canucks, we know all the storylines with them. Is there the internal strife, Miller, Pettersson, all that kind of stuff. We were given the Oilers record. The Canucks only have 6 wins since the start of December. fairly mediocre, well, below mediocre. And the Montreal Canadiens, coming into tonight's action, are only 2 points out of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. So my game of the night will be NHL Canucks at Canadiens. Good old Canadian matchup.
That's a prime game.
That is the
Amazon
Prime video game.
Yes. Well, it's not a video game. The game is on Amazon Prime.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
Good.
It's Monday Night Hockey on Monday night.
Well, what we do have on the ESTV here is a riveting matchup, the NCAA FCS National Championship, sometimes referred to as Division I AA.
Right, so it's a step below.
It's a step below
everything, all the big boys.
Yes, is seeing the Montana State Bobcats take on North Dakota State University. That game is right now, spoiler alert,
if you're taping it.
NDSU is up 7-0, and they just drew a pass interference at midfield. Fun fact, Reid.
Yes.
Couple notable alum from Montana State.
Oh, wow, okay.
You ever heard of a guy named Alex Singleton?
Yes, former CFLer.
Former Stampeder.
Yes.
Current Bronco.
Was he not an Eagle?
Former Eagle.
Is he hurt, though?
He is.
Okay. Good player.
Brilliant player. Travis Lulay. Also a Montana State Bobcat alum.
Oh, really?
And I went looking at North Dakota State University because I thought, man, I think there's some players that have come out of there to play in the NFL. Carson Wentz.
Oh, really?
Yes, and more recent, Trey Lance was at North Dakota
That's
State.
Where he was?
That's where he was.
I thought he was at a big school.
And CFL / rider legend, Weston Dressler. He was a rider.
And a bomber.
Dressler
was riders and bombers. Yeah, very good player.
So, some notable
there's
names.
Some fun facts that played at this level of football.
Yeah, it's a nice jersey matchup.
It actually is. That's a good point.
Yeah, North Dakota State has the. Would you call that forest green? It's not Kelly green.
Green and gold-ish, but not the same that we have here in Edmonton with our two green and gold teams.
Montana State has a bit of a Washington State vibe going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Beautiful color matchup. Well,
what do you want to do? Do you want to do the my top three, or do you want to do the word of the day? How are you feeling? Or do you want to do text messages on the River Cree inbox?
Let's see what we got. Let's see what's cooking in there.
X-Ray J. Believe it or not, every single TV manufacturer wants you to buy a new blank every 2 years max. Yeah, I know. That's frustrating. I like to get something and think I'm going to have this for several years, which I suppose I will if it doesn't break. But my dad's TV, again, the picture just... And these, once it's gone, right? With these styles of TV, you're not going in there and fixing something.
Yeah, you're not taking it like maybe you would in the oldie times.
Yeah,
to
fix
a
the
repair.
picture tube.
Yeah. Can I leave this with you for
or
a
they're
couple
going to
days,
say,
sir?
well, the repair is this much and a new TV is this much.
I mean, I won't ask you how much you spent on that TV, but I know you can get good TVs for
it was not
$300 to $400.
It was not excessive. It was, yeah,
that's fantastic.
Touchdown, North Dakota State. And where is this game again?
It's in Texas.
Okay.
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, they need warm weather.
North Dakota State University is the Bison.
Let's do our word of the day. Let's do word of the day.
Zach, you know what we need? We need a song or a tune for word of the day.
Yeah.
I think maybe we should get Lieutenant Eric to drum something up.
Yeah, he could.
I think that would be nice. Or Koob. Hey, why don't you know what? You get first crack at it. If it stinks, we'll cut it and go to Eric, but if it's good, we'll keep it.
All right.
I think you got it.
So the word of the day, Jay gives a word that is generally one not commonly used in everyday conversation, and I have to spell it, and then I have to figure out the definition. I have not been overly successful at this.
Well, you should be able to spell this one. I'll be surprised if you know what it means. Tome.
Well, I know what this means. Tome. That's how you spell tome. A tome is a...
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if you know this.
It's a kind of a book that I would say generally contains ancient or arcane knowledge.
Wow. Tome is a formal word for a book, and especially a very large, thick, often scholarly book.
Mm-hmm.
We picked up a tome on the Ghana Empire for our history project.
Yeah.
Reid, you nailed it.
Well, because for anybody out there who plays Eldritch Horror, you can get a tome. Or any of the Arkham horror games.
And
yes.
who said that those games wouldn't...
Yeah, look how much I've learned.
Look at you go.
Arcane being understood by few, mysterious or secret. So it doesn't have to be arcane knowledge necessarily, but scholarly knowledge.
Scholarly and thick.
Scholarly and thick. So I got a tome on Zachary Kubusch's rap career.
Yes. Yes.
Well, that was pretty disappointing how quickly I knew that.
I'm sorry.
But I was using the word tome the other day about Chief Andy and his secret library in his house.
Yeah.
That he had a bunch of tomes hidden
You
away.
said tomes?
Yes, I did.
Oh
I
my
did use
God.
tomes in conversation. So after saying this is a word not usually used in conversation, it was one I used as recently as Friday.
Isn't that something? I feel bad. Now you know what that's going to make me do? Just like the mystery athlete of the day. Well, I'm going to try and screw you. It's going to be hard. These words. You're not going to be able to guess them.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I usually won't.
What are you laughing
That's
at?
the first one I've ever been close to.
I didn't tell a joke. Cool.
Tome. T-O-M-E. So say the full proper definition again.
Tome is a formal word for a book, and especially a very large, thick, often scholarly book.
Okay, so basically it's a large and scholarly book. That's what's that's it. That's what makes it a specific type of book.
You'd find several, maybe possibly hundreds of tomes inside the library.
Yes. But you'd also find a lot of less scholarly writing as well. Maybe some Harlequin romance.
You know, I'm going to go off on a tangent here.
Okay.
You know,
please do.
You know what's weird? Magazines. Are those referred to as periodicals?
I believe so, yes.
Right? They have a shelf life.
True.
They come out.
They used to.
They used to be.
I don't
like
think there's as many magazines as there used to be.
You used to get a Sports Illustrated every month.
Every week. It was a huge day for young Reid Wilkins.
I only got monthly. What the heck?
No, Sports Illustrated was a weekly magazine. I don't know.
Maybe I'm misremembering. I don't know. I didn't.
All right.
But, did they score again? No.
I think that's a replay.
So you would think if one went to a place where they sell these magazines, that they might have an abundance, or some at least, of old periodicals that are no longer good to them.
All right.
Not even saleable.
Not sure where you're going.
Well, it's a new year, so in our household we do vision boards. The girls clip out pictures, words for 2025.
Okay.
This is my year to do this, to
I see.
be great.
Okay.
You know, vision boards.
I did not do one.
I can tell. So we went to a couple places, and they just throw them out. They won't even give them to me because I was looking for old magazines. That's where you get all your
so you
clippings
could cut stuff out?
Yeah.
Where did you go? Can you say?
Walmart.
Well, why would Walmart give you old magazines?
They aren't even allowed to. They have to dispose of them. It's like an agreement they have,
right,
with the publishers.
Yeah, it's some inventory thing.
That doesn't make sense. Give them to me. Give them for my kids to make their vision boards. Sorry, we can't. What? What's that all about?
I don't know what that's about. I've never tried to get old magazines from anybody.
Should up your vision
Why
board
didn't you
game.
go to a smaller place other than Walmart that wouldn't have corporate rules?
Well, the library was closed.
Well, they
wanted to
probably
go
wouldn't
there.
give you their old magazines either.
Yeah, what's up with that? And Okay, well, why don't you just buy a few, you cheap ass?
Yeah, why don't you?
You know how much a magazine costs now?
Yeah, $12.
I'm not spending $12 on a magazine or potentially
For your
$3 or
daughters
$4
to
for
cut
them
up.
just to cut up.
Well, why don't they just print the words off the internet then?
Can't print it, Reid.
So it's called a vision board. So they go through magazines. Why don't they go through a newspaper?
Where would I find a newspaper?
Well, newspapers are still out there. You could go buy one.
Okay. Thankfully, we went... When we went,
I'm a little lost, everybody.
And when we went to the library, we discovered that in the atrium at the library in Sherwood Park's at the county hall, and there's a big atrium in the middle of the county hall.
All right,
and there was a Rubik's Cube contest.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so we sat front row and watched for a bit. It was amazing.
I saw advertised on Amazon. I thought it was a joke, and then I clicked on it. It's a black Rubik's Cube, but it lights up when you touch it, so you have to handle it and remember which color was where.
That's silly.
Mex Bezzozo in the Nasty Chat says scholarly writing about voyeurs are called peeping tomes. That is excellent.
Oh, wow.
That is excellent. People are discussing how quickly technology becomes obsolete in the Nasty Chat. Give us a thumbs up. Let's see if we can get to 130. We're almost there. So give one or email a loved one, text a loved one and say, hey, give these guys on Edmonton Sports Talk a thumbs up. Of course, the Oilers are in Boston. They will play there tomorrow against the Bruins. Second and final meeting of the season already, right, between the two teams. Oilers beat Boston 3-2 in overtime back on December 19th. The Oilers are doing good. I mean, you go back to that game against Boston that started this run, during which they are 6-1-1. I mean, really, Jay, the Oilers have 3 regulation losses since the start of December. They're pretty good.
Hey.
They're pretty good, despite all the things we talk about and the little weaknesses and things that bug people. They're doing pretty well.
That has ceased somewhat. I mean, early in the year, it was, all hands
Well, they were
on
quite
deck.
bad for
But
the
they were
first 3 or
playing
4
awful.
weeks. Yeah.
The team was playing awful. So it does look and appear like this team, made up of these players, can play at a very high level. And that's with somewhat of a Band-Aid project on defense.
Well, and look at some of the individual concerns we had. We were talking about the team concerns that have turned around. Zach Hyman not producing, has 10 goals and 17 points in his last 20 games. That's since November. We're using kind of November 9th as a cutoff. Connor Brown, 5 goals, 17 points in 25 games. That's pretty good. Even Nugent Hopkins. I know we talk about maybe there not being enough 5-on-5. 9 goals, 17 points in 24 games since November 9th. A lot of things that we were concerned about have picked up, which is pretty good.
They're a wagon right now. Peaking too soon?
No, I don't. No. Jeez, just looking for a storyline, eh? No, I don't think they are peaking. I think they're a good team that's playing well. I mean, I just want to check the goaltending here. Since November 9th, both goalies have .905 save percentages. And what did I say? If they could just be, when I looked a few weeks ago, .901 was the league average. Just be a little better than average.
Keep playing that Exodus
Skinner's
video game.
12-3-2.
You're becoming quite prophetic. You said
Pickard
905.
6-2.
That was your midseason wish.
That they're both play around 905?
Yeah.
Well, again, for both the last couple months, they're doing it.
If we get to 140, I'm going to give a bonus word for the people.
Oh, you have another word of the day, right?
I do.
All right, that's awesome. Well, yeah, because we've sailed past 130. We're going to sink our teeth into vampire movies when we get back. Reid Wilkins Show with Jason Milne.
There's 4 games in the NHL, seeing the Capitals and Sabres tied at 1 apiece with under 3 minutes left in the first. And in just a moment, the Canucks meet the Canadiens before the Panthers and Avalanche go at it. And the Devils play the Kraken. On the court, the Pistons are down by 5 against the Trailblazers. That one's 28-23. And the 76ers are up 23-16 on the Suns, with both games entering the second quarter. Later, we see the Bucks and Raps throw it down, having 9 games in the NBA. Baseball sees infielder Gavin Lux being traded from the Dodgers to the Reds in exchange for outfielder Mike Sirota and a competitive balance round A pick. In the UFC, it's been announced that Rob Font will fight Dominic Cruz and Song Yadong will face Henry Cejudo on February 22nd. The Reid Wilkins Show has the final segment on the other side of the break with Reid's Top 3. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino.
When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level.
Don't miss Canadian singer-songwriter Alan Doyle as he brings the East to the West, January 17th.
I said, hey, 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 it's just an ordinary day, and it's on your state of mind.
Get your tickets at River Cree Resort and Casino. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Fuge Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at fugesausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Fuge Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hope you're having a great Monday afternoon. Going into Monday evening. No Monday night football, but we do have the FCS championship game for college football. North Dakota State and Montana. Thank you. 14-0 for North Dakota State. Hockey games going on today as well. I mentioned that my game of the night is the Canadians against the Canucks, which is on Prime.
Fun fact.
Yes.
At Christmas, my nephew, we went down to Calgary for a few days. My nephew, he goes to Montana State.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And his girlfriend came up for Christmas. She's a cheerleader for the Montana State Bobcats.
Oh, cool. Is she at this game?
She was not, because last year Montana State has made they've been in the NCAA basketball tournament. And so they have a cheer team and a spirit team.
Okay.
I think one's dance, one's cheer. The cheer went to NCAA.
Okay.
Basketball. So this time it was the dance's team or turn to go. So no, they did not.
Well, I'm going to talk a bit about spirits, sort of, as we are camped out in the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out, jameshbrown.com. Book your private consultation today. So I was really excited to see a little movie called Nosferatu. And as people might know, I enjoy films, even beyond working at Blockbuster. I enjoy movies. Don't get to watch as many as I used to, but I know enough, or I try to know enough about movies that if there's a director, or let me put it this way, if I see a movie I really like, especially if it's something kind of unique or different, I like to know who the director was, because that's the person who often really determines the vision of the movie. So a few years ago, I watched a movie called The Witch. This was with a young Anya Taylor-Joy in it. Came out in 2015, and I thought that is a good movie. Horror movie, but not overly gory, but more kind of suspense and what's going on, and maybe little plot twisty, which a couple things that happened. And I noted that the director of this movie was a guy named Robert Eggers. And then a few years later in 2019, my buddy who I watched The Witch with says Eggers has made another movie. It's called The Lighthouse. And it's with Willem Dafoe and what's one of the guys from the Pattinson?
Robert Pattinson.
They're in The Lighthouse. Weird movie. Didn't totally understand it. Looked incredible. I mean, the visually, Eggers is, I think, a genius. But The Lighthouse, I'm like, okay. Then he made a movie called The Northman, which is kind of a Hamlet-type story. There's a lot of different versions of or similar stories to Hamlet besides
Nicole
what Shakespeare
Kidman
wrote. Was in The Northman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. She was. Defoe's in that one as well.
Bjork.
Yes, Bjork was in it. That's right. I forgot about that. And I generally enjoyed The Northman. So now he made Nosferatu, right? A remake of the old German movie and sort of a take on Dracula. So I thought I got to go see Nosferatu. So on Saturday, Zip and I went on Saturday.
He must like Willem Dafoe.
Defoe's one of the his performance of this one is he has a great line, something like the great Isaac Newton must be turning in his grave over this or something like that. So and Nosferatu came out on Christmas Day, and it got very good reviews. So I thought this is going to be good. So I'm very excited to go see Nosferatu. And Zip liked it. Another friend I know who was very excited it was coming out, I was texting with her after I saw it. She liked it. They liked it a lot. I liked it, Jay, but I was a little disappointed. And I guess the line I would use for this is that there's a difference between great filmmaking and a great film. It is visually amazing. I mean, just the way the lighting is done, the way the framing is done, the costumes. It's just this very detailed, amazing movie to look at. You know, the guy playing Dracula, which is one of the Skarsgård guys, like he's awesome. The way he looks is great. And there's some really memorable images in it. It's not scary at all. I mean, it's tense at times. But I found myself as the movie went on. It's like I said, I realized I was watching great filmmaking, but did I feel I was watching a great film? And I didn't. By the final act of the film, I kind of just wanted it to end. And I'm like, okay, we know they're probably going to kill the vampire. Let's just get it over with. And again, the acting is good. Nicholas Hoult is in it. Lily Rose Depp, Johnny Depp's daughter is in it. Aaron Taylor Johnson is in it. All the performances are good. But I kind of just left the theater thinking like, okay, I saw it. Like I didn't know. It didn't really move me or affect me or make me want to talk about it a lot. I appreciated the quality of the filmmaking, but I left feeling a little empty. And that made me a little sad.
Do you think he was... this director you're talking about was
Robert Eggers,
was maybe depending on that he knew his loyal fans would come out and he could deliver, what maybe wasn't the best picture, but cinematic.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's a very unique eye. I do think he's a good director. And I think having a visual style is very important to making a good film and being a good director. I just think you can't... I'm a big believer you can't have all style over substance. Sometimes you can get away with it. Like I think sometimes you can make a movie where you're saying, this is just so over the top, don't worry about the story.
Give me an example of something, a movie that you think would replicate this, where it's style over substance.
And it works?
Maybe it didn't work.
That's a good question. Well, if you're talking a musical, like something like Chicago, where it's just all about the presentation of the musical numbers and whether or not she actually killed her husband or is going to get away with it, isn't that important.
Now, what about like your Wolfman movie that you're excited to see? Is that going to be substance over style, or do you think it's going to be a nice
No, I think
combination
that's going to be
of both?
I'm optimistic for that one. because it's the same person who directed The Invisible Man with what's her name, Elizabeth Moss, from a few years ago, which was a very smart movie on top of being a good horror movie. So anyway, Nosferatu, I liked it.
More like not for Ritsu.
I didn't love it. Who said that?
Me.
That's funny. Okay. Dr. Nutsy Dielson, my friend, said he will never take another movie recommendation from me again after telling him to watch The Lighthouse. And I know some people love The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was a very ambiguous movie in terms of what was actually happening. And sometimes that works. For me, that one totally didn't work. And in this one, I mean, there is a story. I texted my friend. I said, it's almost a juvenile story with idiotic characters, which I had a little bit of trouble with. And again, I just didn't really, as the movie went on, I didn't really care what was happening in the movie. And I still think you have to bring in some sort of investment. I think I'm probably in the minority because most critics and people who are seeing it are liking it. Along those lines, it is my top 3 for food sausage. The best sausages you will ever eat, locally made and packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their EST discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or mentioning EST in store. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. It's my top 3 vampire movies. Upon looking this up, I realized I haven't really seen that many vampire movies, and I felt a little ashamed.
I've never seen a vampire movie.
That's not true. You're going to have seen at least one of the movies on my list. I'm sure.
Want to bet? Do you want a friendly bet?
The Lost Boys.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen The Lost Boys. Okay.
What's The Lost Boys?
The Lost Boys is a vampire movie that's a hell of a lot of fun that features Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh, is that old?
The Lost Boys came out in 1987, July 31st, 1987. Corey Haim, Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Patrick, Corey Feldman, Jamie Gertz are all in this film. I'll read you the first sentence. The film follows 2 teenage brothers who move with their divorced mother to the fictional town of Santa Carla, California, only to discover that the town is a haven for vampires.
Big Uke and Ro Nelson are all up with you. They've needed Lost Boys.
Yes. So,
I think I know the name, but I've not watched it.
I think you would enjoy this movie. I know our tastes aren't entirely the same, but we do have some crossover. I think you would enjoy The Lost Boys because it's not
it's
a
a vampire
movie.
comedy.
Yeah, it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek comedy. I think there's some gore. There might be, depending on how easily you're scared, it might be spooky at times, but it's a fun vampire movie. And the vampires are still important to the movie. Like, it doesn't gloss over the vampires. It's very much kids taking on vampires. The way it's done is a lot of fun. And if this is one of those, if it's on TV at a certain point, I'll stop and watch it for a few minutes.
Okay.
All right. So I will Lost Boys. Then I'm going to go to 1992, and I'm going to go with a movie made by legendary director Francis Ford Coppola, featuring Gary Oldman, Anthony Hopkins, Winona Ryder, and Keanu Reeves, Bram Stoker's Dracula. This was a big deal when this one came out. I know a lot of people didn't like that Keanu Reeves was cast in it. I believe this is known for having a lot of practical effects. I mean, CGI was probably still pretty new then. But this is some good stuff. And I'm going to go with Bram Stoker's Dracula. Gary Oldman having a blast playing Count Dracula. Have you seen this one?
No.
Okay.
So, wait. So, Dracula, the premise of Dracula is that he needs to eat your blood?
It is how vampires sustain themselves. Yes, not just Dracula.
But if you are bitten by Dracula, you then turn into a...
It depends on the mythology. Yes.
Okay, so there's not one hard, fast rule.
I don't think so. I think generally, it's like, well, if you are bitten by a vampire, they can turn you into a vampire. But I also think, for example, we're at 140 thumbs up. Great job, Nasties. We appreciate it.
We do.
But like in Nosferatu, you do not become a vampire by being bitten by the vampire.
What happens? You just have a couple holes in your neck?
Well, he bit other places in Nosferatu. Like, there's some really good scenes with him biting people.
Did I kill them?
He killed some people, yes. Wow. He did not kill everybody that he bit.
I guess I have seen a vampire movie.
Which one?
This was 2009. Nope. Never mind.
Have you seen it?
Yes.
What is it?
Hotel Transylvania.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It's a cartoon.
Right.
Yeah.
Mex Bezozu, Let the Right One In. That's a good movie. Bram Stoker Dracula, From Dusk Till Dawn, Salem's Lot. Somebody else said. I thought Blade 2 was the best Blade movie. Jimbo says Interview with the Vampire. I almost put that on the list. I'm ashamed to say I have seen neither Fright Night, though I think they're both pretty highly thought of, and I think those are kind of horror comedies as well. There was one in the 80s, and then there was a remake with, what's the guy's name? Colin Farrell, the Irish guy?
Yep.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer getting some votes. But my third one on the list is a comedy from 2014. It later became a TV show that I've talked about, What We Do in the Shadows. It's a vampire movie, and it's very funny. And it has one of my favorite lines all time in a movie. So in What We Do in the Shadows, it's a house full of 4 vampires living together. And they have a neighborhood rivalry with the werewolves in the neighborhood. And once in this one scene, they confront each other on the street at night, and there's a lot of trash talking going on. And one of the werewolves starts using some words that start with F and S and is very insulting. And the lead werewolf turns around to the guy and he goes, "Hey, hey, hey, werewolves, not swearwolves." Which is an all-time classic. So my top 3 vampire movies: Lost Boys, Bram Stoker's Dracula, and What We Do in the Shadows. I'm probably missing some good ones. I appreciate the contributions in the Nasty Chat. A lot of films could fall into that category, but those are my top 3.
Can vampires fly?
I think they can fly or levitate or perhaps turn into a bat and fly. Jay, I think you're going to find there could be a lot of different interpretations of the vampire character and abilities.
Which is fair.
I don't think you need to get too worried about the all-encompassing vampire characteristics, though generally sucking blood would be one of them.
Have you ever met a vampire?
Not that I know of. Mm-hmm. I may have.
Do you believe in vampires?
Do I believe vampires exist in the real world? I do not. Despite all my interest in science fiction and horror, I really don't think that any of it is real.
I don't believe in them as well. Let's give the people what they deserve. This is a bonus word.
Oh, we get another word of the day.
The bonus word is Nosferatu.
Jasmine loves the swearwolf line too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, if you get this, then I think word of the day is done forever.
It won't be.
Bonus word of the day, cerulean.
Jeez. Cerulean?
Cerulean.
I'm going to take a stab at it. Cerulllian.
Wow, very close. Cerulean.
Cerulean. My goodness. I'm going to say it is a, I don't know. It reminds me of crustacean, but I'm going to say cerulean is, I'm going to say it's some sort of a creature that has a shell.
Not very close.
No.
I think I've stumped you here. Cerulean describes things whose blue color resembles the blue of a clear sky.
Oh, neat.
So, for instance, the painting depicts leafless trees bordering a cerulean lake.
Oh, that's a nice word. That's a beautiful word.
That is a beautiful word.
Could you sit by a cerulean lake and read a tome?
Absolutely. I'm just trying to find an old word. I wonder if there could be somethings that cerulean and Priscillus at the same time.
Oh, maybe. I don't remember what that means.
Stormy as the sea.
Right. You remember all the words. Do you have them all?
I've written everyone down.
He's handwritten them all out, everybody. Yeah. Talk about old school stuff. All right. We got to go. So our live programming resumes at 6 a.m. with the Nielsen Show. We'll be back at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon with the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. We'll go for an hour, then we'll have the Oil Stream pregame show, and then we'll rejoin you from 5 to 6. Big thanks to Zachary Kubusch. On behalf of the Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Have a great night.
Get to know the winners. Props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.